What he was doing. What's up, you guys? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back
Uh,
here. Just Simply Sports. You guys know what time it is. I'm always rolling with these controversial topics with my Brother D. How are you today?
hey, young lady, how you feel, babe? I'm all right.
I'm good. You guys, please forgive the laughter at the beginning. He was talking about wishing that he could sing, and I think the Lord did his big one and not blessing him with that gift. I think you have enough gifts without, the
Yeah,
musical talents, so to speak.
Jesus, my sister.
Oh man, you guys. So track and field. I am a track and field fan, obviously. I used to run track when I was in school. Don't even try to play because I have footage and I got pictures if I need to prove it, okay? But so, it's been a big deal. Sha'Carri Richardson, what happened between her and fellow Olympian Christian Coleman. And so we saw the footage. We saw that she got arrested, and then they released the footage of her, kind of shoving him around the airport, in Seattle, I believe is where it took place. And then he spoke out. We heard his side of it. And he didn't really say too much. And then she released an apology, I believe, yesterday. And then they released more footage today of her actually being arrested and talking to the cops. So I'm looking at this whole thing and I'm just like, this is really, really a bad look. No matter how you want to slice the situation, the fact that
Right.
the fact that he was trying to walk away several times, and she kept chasing him around the airport in spite of them being in an airport where everybody can see what's happening and what's going on. I was like, oh man, Sha'Carri, what are you doing? This is not a good look at all. To be an Olympian, you know that
Mm,
you're gonna have eyes on you. There's gonna be somebody there who recognizes you. Even if they didn't, the airport is full of cameras, so I don't know exactly what he said or what he did because she didn't give specifics in that video when she was talking to the police. But I'm just like, sometimes we gotta just remember where we are. You know what I mean? Because that no fly list is real, number one, and you're a brand number two. You really, really got to be careful. I know this is something that you really wanted to talk about. You had some things you want to get your chest, so go ahead.
she just put me on the spot. Hey, go ahead, boy. No, no. The big thing. I watched the whole film. As a matter of fact, I was looking for the clip because I have the clip on my
Hmm.
computer here. But
Hmm.
um, the the big thing that I always wanted to know was basically like what was done, what was said to Sha'Carri. Why was she following him? Giving him the chest bumps, pushing him. Why was
Does
she
that
doing these
matter
things?
though? Because he didn't put his hands on
Yes,
her. Does it matter? Because
yeah, yeah.
if it
That's
was
it.
reversed, we wouldn't be
Well,
asking like, what did she do? We'd be like,
See, that's just
arrest
what we
him.
do. Yeah, of course, but see that I think that's where we go wrong. I think that's the first thing we do. We start looking into gender and everything. I said, well, aside from that, let's just talk about relationships. See, that's where we're
Hmm.
missing it. If you talk about from a relationship standpoint, anytime you start adding in money, sex, and spending the night and all this other little pseudo
Hmm.
marriage stuff that we like to do, well, you always going to get um people going to be heated. Who were you talking
Hmm.
to? And basically she said basically something that I have of his, and he has of mine is on my person. I'm not going to
Yeah.
relinquish it to him. And she was just giving
Hmm.
this little rundown. That's before she knew she was going to be arrested, right? So she's
Yeah.
giving this rundown, and the whole thing is just that when I see that, I know like okay, that's a relationship fight. And a lot of
Hmm.
cats today they're not in relationships. They're the okey doke. They haven't been in a
Hmm.
relationship. They don't care about nobody. You know what I mean? That
Hmm.
whole thing. I'm a woman. I can do what I want to. Some dudes like I'm about
Hmm.
smash and grab, and I'm just out.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but when you're in a relationship, you know there are soul ties involved, and so you're going to be heated, and you may say some things, and those type of arguments are real. They're real. Whether we agree with she putting her
Hmm.
hands on him or not, they're real. They happen all too soon. I mean, all too frequently. So when I seen it, I was like, okay, I just want to know what was going down. So when she gave her breakdown, I was just like, oh, okay. So she's pissed because he won't say whatever she want him to say or give her something that
Uh-huh.
she's looking for.
Mhm. Yeah.
So she's mad about it. Do I condone it for doing it? No, I don't. But I do know what I'm looking at when I see that. That's why. Have you noticed, even in police and law enforcement, you notice they have also what they call the domestic police. And domestic police, they really have separated them. You have people just who do the street. You got your footman that walks or on bike. Then you got your guys, your patrolmen talk about bigger stuff. But then you have your domestic police that takes care of domestic issues and supposed to be better in like more in the social area. So when I see that, that's what I'm saying. The reason why they divided it like that is because they know that when it comes to relationships, money, sex, all this stuff, it plays out horribly when someone gets mad or someone gets jilted or cheated on. It always plays out like this. And anybody who's been in a relationship, they know what I mean. And I don't really know why people are mad at Sha'Carri like this, because it's off the chain to me. You know what I mean? I know that's a little bit over here, but I'm talking about when I say that. But a lot of people are really a little too upset with her. And why do they feel like she deserved the biggest punishment for getting in the argument with her boyfriend? He didn't have any scratches on his face. They talked about her nails. Where was the scratches on his face? Where was these scratches at? Because he had a coat on. So she scratched them up, where they at? And so that's what I mean by people add things in and fabricate in order to appease how they feel. A lot of black men out here, they cowards and they just won't deal with stuff. And that's why we have the thing like it. I'm not talking about her boyfriend, but I'm talking about the people who are criticizing her. I'm like, who girl haven't acted like that before? I'm maybe not like you, maybe not swung, but who haven't gotten a heated argument like that before? I'm talking about people who really been in relationships. Name one.
I think for me, I think it's a little bit of for me, it's a lack of accountability. I can't. Everybody in a relationship or that has been in a relationship has, I'm pretty sure, got in an argument at some point or another. Yeah. I mean, unless you have this supposed quote unquote fake relationship where everything is Skittles and rainbows, that doesn't exist in my humble opinion. But I think we've all been in situations in a relationship where we've been really upset. And you may say things, that shouldn't necessarily mean. You may yell, you may even curse, depending on how you are. But I feel like how she acted was more so not about the fact that she's in a relationship, so to speak, and it got heated. I feel like it goes more so to who she is as a person. She's a firecracker, number one. And then when she released that statement, I'm paraphrasing you guys. I don't have it memorized by heart, so forgive me. But some of the things she put in it was that, come into the camera so we can't really see you. I'm sorry. She was saying that, what's up? She was saying that, hold on, I'll read your thing in a second. She said that, I'm paraphrasing again, you guys, that she had a lot of trauma that she dealt with, like growing up and stuff like that. So I really feel like that's the bigger part of why she responded the way she did. Because I feel like a lot of times, if you grow up a certain way, and you're used to seeing people argue, but more so in a healthier way. I don't know how traumatic her experience was growing up. I don't know exactly like all the ins and outs of what she's been through. But to me, when I saw that reaction, I said, okay, this is not just about her arguing with her boyfriend, because to me, that goes back. Her response to me was more so based on how she grew up and maybe how she's used to dealing with people, boyfriends. Girlfriends. I know she's bi, in situations when she gets upset. And I can't just look over and be like, oh, it's a relationship and that happens kind of vibe. Because I feel like if it was him and she was walking away and he was jumping in front of her and blocking her from trying to walk away, it would be a bigger issue, really and truly, than it is with her. I have seen comments that are looking for that, they're looking for like, it's double standard, so on and so forth. But for me, I'm like, if that was my son, I wouldn't be happy at all. Number one, like I wouldn't excuse it at all if he did it, or if it was done to him. I'm like, that's somebody you need to leave alone. Now she apologized. I can appreciate her accountability. I can appreciate her admitting that she has some trauma that she's still dealing with. I can appreciate all of that. But that's dangerous, like we saw. I don't know if you guys go in the shade room, but people can get killed for domestic violence. You know what I mean? Like somebody's brother, uncle. Like it might be a heat in the moment argument for you, But sometimes people get upset and they don't want you touching their sister, their aunt. People lose their lives. They can seriously, like, really, really end up hurt. And also, when you're an Olympian, like, you on
Yeah,
a bigger stage than the average person. Like,
yeah,
you gotta also kind of remember, like, I'm outside. I know, like, when emotions are high, logic
yeah,
is low, but you outside. You know what I mean? And you're a brand, so it's not like you doing this on this in front of the public like this. All these cameras are just gonna just go under the rug, and we're not gonna see it. You know what I mean?
amen.
And then the video that she posted when she was apologizing, I didn't really feel like she was sincere. Um, she kind of had a smile, and that could have been like a nervous, when you're talking or apologizing to the public, I get everybody's looking. So she made it feel a little bit uncomfortable. That could have been why she had like a little weird
Mhm.
smile. But I was just like, is this genuine? And I don't know. I didn't feel like a genuine apology, when she spoke. And I'm not saying that she had to cry, and grovel and blow her nose or whatever have like we see in television
Yeah,
shows. But I just didn't really feel like it was genuine. And I'm just like, I'm not banning for her to miss the next Olympics in 2028, but I do feel
yeah,
like we can't, for me, I can't just be like, oh, that's a relationship, we all get heated kind of thing, because we all know if he was the one doing that to her, I'm not even sure if he was
yeah,
still like, what would happen with him, like, really and truly. Go ahead, since
yeah.
you like to
No,
see
no.
no, I'm listening to you, but I'm looking at some of these comments. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, no, no, not at all. No, I feel that way too. But see, but this is the thing that we keep missing. We use that. I'm like, we always use that as a barometer. Like, well, if that happened with her,
Use what as
we
a barometer?
automatically start thinking of
Use what as a
like
barometer?
the comparison men versus woman. If he did it, she did it. So therefore, she should be getting in trouble just like he got in trouble. And I don't go to that automatically. I really go to, okay, what's really happening. And so when I look at it and I say, okay, well, all right, she got heated, she was bumping him, and the way people described it, it wasn't going down like that. I seen her. This is what get me. When we seen, now watch this. When we seen Beyonce's sister just go off on Jay-Z and we're just like, blah, 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 everybody cheered, and they gave her, she cheered, and they cheered with impunity. But now we see a couple like we never saw it before. And then, but when that happened, everybody, well, yeah, well, you know what she said in Lemonade. So, I know her sister taking up for her because that's the way it go. And everybody was felt good about it. And everybody cheered about it.
That's
But
what
when
I'm
we
saying.
see her,
That's the double standard. Is what I'm saying. Because if Jay-Z had slapped Solange in any capacity, it would have been a
yeah,
whole entirely different situation.
but see,
If he had even
but I'm
pushed her, it would have been
But
different.
see, I'm standing on Sha'Carri. This is my point. Why is everyone so angry with her? Why weren't all right? Watch this. Why weren't they angry with Solange? Why was no one was angry with Solange? Everybody thought it was cool. They sat back. They said, "Oh well, she said that he cheated on her in Lemonade. So basically, that's just how it go. Her sister ain't gonna have that because she's under his thumb. No,
Hold on, I
no,
want
no,
to read
no.
this. Hold on, I'm gonna read this real quick. I've been in
Okay,
relationships with violent women and left them. It's a dangerous situation to be in when it gets physical. Yeah.
yeah,
Cassie
it
got 30.
is.
Somebody put Cassie got 30 million.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
Hold
that
on, hold on, hold
it's
on,
not
hold on.
dangerous. Yeah, okay, I'm not saying that it's not dangerous. My point is this: don't
Hold
act
on.
like this is okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just want to read some of the comments because there's a few comments coming in.
This is her
This
first
isn't her
time.
first time.
Displaying this type of behavior. She needs the help, and I sincerely hope that she gets it. Let me ask you a question. Who is that? Nadi. What did she do? Tell me what she did. Tell me what she did.
Putting her hands on her?
No.
Is that what
She
you're
said,
talking
she said, this is not the first time displaying this type of behavior. Tell me what she did. I think Nadia is talking out of her behind, but go ahead. Tell me what she did.
She was arrested before I saw for
what?
like against like a physical altercation. I believe I saw online. I don't know if it was with a girlfriend or a boyfriend, but I did see that online, and she was arrested before for like the same similar type of situation. I don't know if it's false or I did see that.
If that was the case, it would have been. They would have said this is the second time this has happened. I haven't seen that yet. So
It was on the Shade Room. They
Huh?
showed it. They showed the old picture when she got arrested before. I saw it. I saw it online.
But for what though? What was it about, and how was it broke down? You get what I'm saying? All things are not created equal. So even though we may see somebody getting taken in, it doesn't mean that what it is. So
That's right.
okay,
He's right. Hold on. I'm sorry. He's right. That's what it is. I had it wrong.
On an airplane. I never
Talk out of my behind. He never talk out of his behind. You had it wrong.
Then stand up straight. All right. So this is what I'm saying, Nadi. So when you're on the airplane and you say if things get physical, we never seen things get physical on the airplane before. Was she defending herself? What was happening? You can defend yourself and still get arrested. Did you know that? So when you say that, don't act. See, what you're doing is you're just intersecting things and making it all look like it's just rainbows and bubble gum. But so you're still talking out your behind because you haven't given me any details. Stand up, brother.
Well,
be a man.
I mean, I think you can go online and Google the specifics of what happened on the airplane. But no matter who we are, be it black, white, male, or female, when you've been arrested before and there's a history, it speaks to a pattern of behavior. Now, whether or not people agree with it or they want to justify it or they can empathize with it, it still speaks to a pattern of behavior. Now, and again, I'm not saying that she should be banned from the Olympics. I'm not even sure what the punishment should be because, like I said, it didn't get completely out of control. But for me, the fact that it happened in public like that, I'm actually wondering what has happened behind closed doors. And because he tried to walk away a few times and she kept following him. It wasn't like it just happened. Like he walked away once and said, okay, she followed him one time and then moved on. He did it again and she followed him again. He did it again, she followed him again. And I'm just like, that is extremely dangerous because in that moment, if he's like, look, like you like, get out of here. He would have slapped her one good time or shoved her and she would have fell to the ground. It would have been an even bigger issue. So I do agree that she does need to seek some type of counseling to deal with her trauma because she brought up her own trauma in her post. So if that's what she's saying that her anger stems from, whatever she dealt with in her past, you have to deal with that because every time you get upset, you can't react like that in a relationship. And I don't want nobody pushing on me or blocking me from leaving because for me, as a man, I'm trying to leave you blocking me. That's dangerous. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like,
but let me say this. This is what a lot of dudes do to women. I'm gonna tell you what they do. They sit there. They say, okay, you're this, you're that to me, and then all of a sudden, everybody said they start mixing money. They start taking care of each other. And then the woman will find out about something. They see something on somebody's phone, and then they'll just snap. And everybody want to say, "Oh, well, she didn't have to go that far." See, this is the whole problem with emotions. When emotions are intact, and people are telling you, "Oh, I love you. You're the only one. You're this, you're that," and all of a sudden, when those emotions snap, listen, she's not reacting to who's around her at the time. She's reacting to her boyfriend. And we keep making people out to be robots. Oh, you're standing right here. Sometimes when people get angry, it is what it is. And I'm going to address you where you stand. Just like we want somebody to tear their kid behind up when they see him in the supermarket acting like a certain thing. Oh, you get dirt when you do dirt. And that's what I'm talking about. That's how some people's mindsets are. And that's why I don't look at everything and through a vacuum. It's like, no, you have to look at things in individual cases and say, all right, what was going on? What did dude do? Something happened. Something went down. He did something. And I'm not saying that it justified her doing that because I don't even think they should be together. I really don't. But I do think that whatever it is, you know what I mean? I think I wish she would break it down more. But nevertheless, to me, it's over. You know what I mean? She blew up. It is what it is. But I watched that whole thing. I watched her get taken in. Can I just say this? Kudos to the cop who was in the car who drove her to the station. I'm going to tell you something about this brother. This brother was so on point. He was so on point. He calmed her down. He let her know that he would help her. He let her know that the judge may let her go today. And he said, it doesn't mean you're going to be locked up for 2 weeks or for a month. It just means that you have to see the judge and sometimes you have to wait till the next day. She was very scared. And I really felt bad for her because she was very scared in that moment. But anybody who sit here and act like that they don't understand the anger that comes out when you see people, especially young people, in relationships like that.
Is she not in her late 20s, mid 20s?
Isn't she about 24? I thought Sha'Carri was like 24. I thought she was.
But go ahead, finish your thought. Somebody drop Sha'Carri's age in the chat for me, please. Go ahead. What you were saying?
Yeah. Drop that age in
25.
there.
Thank you, DJ.
Oh, okay, 25. So yeah, you're not in my home. You're not a grown. She's 25. But anyway, so the thing about that. So when I see that, I just know that like, all right, she's pissed off, and something happened, and you know how guys do. Guys act like I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna keep walking. Guys do stuff. Listen, I'm breaking up. I had to break up my friend. They both my friends. We all grew up together. She reaches around me and stabs him in the arm. The knife goes through the front of his arm, come out the back of his arm, and
that's jail time.
Next thing I know, watch this. I'm looking at her. I'm like, yo. I'm looking at him. I'm like, yo, Jay, you all right? He just collapsed. Boom. He collapses. This is no lie. The next day, it was the next day. They were parked outside of my parents' home, talking to each other. And I'm sitting up here like, what? Like, what's going on? And I thought it was crazy. Of course, I was like, I will never break them up again. But what I'm saying is, yo, that was crazy. But what I'm saying is that this behavior, when emotions start flying, and like my boy, he got about 4 different chicks, pregnant. He got like 6 babies by like 4 different women, and he was cheating on her.
Is that why she stabbed you? You're saying?
Yeah. That's why.
Okay.
That's why.
So,
I don't say her
but
name.
I mean, so in that situation, that's also her as well. Like, why are you staying with a man who keeps having children outside the relationship?
Because
like you have a choice. No. I can't.
You do have a choice.
Look, people, exactly. So, like I said, that she could have landed herself in jail for a good amount of time for that. You know what I mean? If it would have come to that. And for him in that kind of situation, so what happens the next time you cheat? Because obviously you don't have discipline, like you're going to keep cheating because she keeps staying. So next time, you're not in the middle. Suppose she stabbed him, in the chest, like in the neck. I mean, that situation, to me, for both of them to stay in it says that there's a lot of healing that needs to happen respectfully, because that's not normal to stay in that kind of situation. If I feel compelled to pick up a knife or any kind of weapon to deal with you, when I get upset, I'm not dealing with you. Like that's next level. Like we're not going to do that. I'm not going to go to jail. Hold up. Nadi put, when Ray Rice knocked his wife out, could he possibly have been justified, or was he wrong?
He's 100% wrong. You can't be knocking your wife out.
But by your logic, though, you're at the same time saying like, relationships, you get upset and these things happen.
Let's get something out the way. Her chest bumping him, her taking the arm and pushing him like that. That little girl can't move that man like that. Listen. Let's get all this little sissy stuff out the way. I'm sorry. If somebody that size is wailing on him, you're a dude. You know how to handle it. You either walk away real fast. It's nowhere in the world. Now all these guys now, y'all getting beat up now, right? Y'all getting beat up. So you gonna stand there and let somebody just beat on you? Stop.
I feel like men sometimes have a rub, because it's like, because you're a man, it's like you can't experience a domestic situation. That's the way it sounds. It's like you're a man, she's a woman. Like she can't harm you, she can't hurt you. Like domestic violence can, and that's part of the problem. It can still go both ways. Just because a man is supposed to be a man, so to speak, does not mean that him dealing with being hit, slapped, kicked, stabbed, whatever, should be acceptable because she's a woman and she's smaller. And by the logic that there is, a man should be stronger.
No.
Oh, hold on. DJ, she should get some jail time or community service. Diddy is facing 20 years in prison and was accused of stuff with no evidence, all because of a Cassie domestic video. When it comes to that Diddy situation, for me,
Man.
DJ, I honestly really feel like I don't think Cassie's innocent at all. Now, that video that we saw was one part. Obviously, I don't think it was the first time that he put hands on her, but the whole case and what I heard was more so about how, like their relationship, like accusing him or charging him with, RICO charges, like sex trafficking. Like I didn't hear any proof of that. Everything was really about their sordid sex life and what they were really into. Be it kinky, however you want to look at it. To me, it wasn't illegal. She participated. She had other boyfriends outside of the relationship. She chose to stay for 11 years. I don't think she's as innocent as she portrayed herself out to be. Personally, I don't believe that at all, in my humble opinion. And I think it's wild, that you're right. I do feel like him going to jail is more so because of, how he looked in that video than what they actually try to charge him with.
Yeah. See, this the big thing about what's going on with her though is just that I just think that people have this. It's so easy to hate Black folks. I'm serious. Like, as soon as something happens, oh my God, she should get jail time for bumping him, for pushing him. Really?
I don't think her behavior should be excused. I'm not saying that she should get jail time. I do believe like some sort of community service, some sort of counseling, because she has an issue dealing with her emotions when she gets angry. That's obvious.
Yeah,
it's obvious.
Yeah, of course.
So we consider. So she needs something to be able to deal with it in a healthy manner, because she can't keep doing this. That can't keep happening.
That's the part that get me. He was walking right, and when she was chest bumping him, he fell. I seen him fall into the wall. I was like, dude, stop. Just get away from her, man. Just go outside, hail a cab, and take off. Go do what you got to do. They had a layover to what? 10. The thing that they had. I was listening to it. She said they had a layover until like 10:30. So it was still daylight. It could have been. It could have been in the morning. It could have been like 5 in the afternoon. I don't know what time it was, but I know it was still daylight. So it wasn't 10:30. So my thing was, dude, you could have went anywhere. You could have got away from her.
So, but also you keep putting it back. You keep putting it back on him. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you keep putting it back on him. Like he could have walked away. He should have did this. She also should have could have handled differently. She was the one putting hands on him. Whether or not he faked the whole going into the wall part, he over exaggerated it or not, like that does not give you the right to put your hands on anybody. I'm walking away. I don't have to leave the airport. Let me finish, because you were talking. Let me finish. I don't have to walk out of the airport to I shouldn't have to leave the whole airport for you to control yourself. I'm walking away from you. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. That should be enough. I'm walking away. You have enough self-control to walk away as well. I shouldn't have to leave the whole airport because you don't know how to stop. That's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm walking away. My hands are down. Like, okay, relax. You upset. Okay, cool. You mad? Whatever. I'm walking away. I'm trying to walk away again. I'm trying to walk away again. Like, I shouldn't have to leave the whole airport because you can't calm yourself down. Like, calm down. That's you. That's not me. That's not. I don't feel like it's right to tell him that. Well, he should have left the airport. He should this. He should have did that. It's like saying that she's fine where she is because she's the woman and it's okay.
No, it's not. It's not because of that. I'm gonna tell you why I feel the way I feel about that. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know what he did, but he did something. And I'm not saying that it justified that. And sometimes when we do something, it's already done. And sometimes, you know how men are. Men like, man, I ain't gotta explain myself to you. And they just keep walking away. And the woman get mad. And let me tell you something. The woman you with, you know her. You know exactly how she is. You know how she moves. You know how she reacts. So, dude, just get away from her. You know what I mean? Just get away from her. I wouldn't have dealt with her no more anyway because clearly she likes to rumble too much. Clearly she'll give you a fair one. But my whole point was how they're making it, how everybody's looking at it. Oh yeah, her long nails. She has a history. What history? History? Yo, stop. She has no history. If Sha'Carri had a history, you would know about it because they would preference it every time she was about to race. Because you know how they do black athletes. Stop. You already know that.
So DJ, real quick, going back to you. So do you think Diddy should be released from jail? She is powerful and more known than her partner. Based on what they tried to charge him with and the fact that they have not proven that case, he should be released. I don't think he should go to jail for his domestic violence. If that was the case, then charge him for domestic violence. Don't charge him with the RICO case and sex trafficking, all these different things, and then throw him in jail for 20 to 50 years for what he did to Cassie. If you're gonna charge, if he's gonna go to jail for that, then I'm like, charge him for that. Based on what they tried to charge him with, and the fact they couldn't prove it, to me, he shouldn't have to go to jail for that.
Nah. What get me is just that he
Hold on, real quick. Nadi's saying he's saying that she has the history. Go ahead, drop in the chat. Because I've read that she has a history too. So go ahead, drop in the chat. So Brother D, so that you can be enlightened on what her history is.
No,
like I said,
tell me what happened.
So I'm saying, like I said, I think it's dangerous when we start excusing people putting hands on people. Because nowadays,
I'm not excusing her at all.
To a certain degree, you are. You're saying, I don't know what he did, but he did something. You're saying, like, okay, he's a man, she's a woman, he should have left the airport, and so on and so forth. But it's like, okay, like, but you putting everything on him, whether you realize it or not. That's what you're doing. You haven't said anything about her behavior at all, really.
He's a stronger vessel. He should leave.
He was trying to. He didn't just stand there. He moved several times in that video.
Trying to leave. He was walking.
He should have had to do a sprint like he's in the Olympics in Tokyo.
He was walking to the corner store like he was walking to the bodega. Come on, stop it.
No. I think you just like defending black women all the time. Like you don't hold. I told you it before, but like you don't hold them accountable. You don't. It doesn't matter what situation is. No, you don't. It doesn't matter what situation is. You find a reason to excuse the behavior. But if it was my son, like. It would like I'll be like, well, what we doing? Like, what's happening? I'm like, like, I'm not saying she got to go to jail for 10 years for it, but something needs to happen because this is unacceptable. People have gotten killed, like in situations like that, really and truly.
But y'all acting like this girl was out here scratching his face up, kicking him down.
It doesn't matter to me if she scratched his face or not. The fact of the matter is that she put her hands on him, and your hands belong to yourself. That's how I feel about it. Period. Because if we're excusing it, then if he would have slapped her back really hard, then it's like, okay, well, I mean, she pushed him first, then we're just justifying it on both sides. To me, keep your hands to yourself.
No. Let's get something straight, Kai. Let's get something straight. He wouldn't have no. Listen, if that girl just giving you chest pumps, you know what I mean. He don't have no right to slap her in her face.
When you put your hands on people, you don't get a right to dictate how they should respond to that. If I'm walking away and you're shoving me not once, not twice, but 3-4 times, and I finally just like bop you upside your face, like with my backhand, then I feel like I should have the right to respond as well. Like, I don't feel like, and this is how I feel on both sides, like you don't get the right to put your hands on somebody and then be like, oh, well, I mean, you ain't have to like respond like that. Like, no.
To me, the people are making what. Because when I heard the report, I'm sitting up there like, oh my God, why? I said she don't went on in this ball. Because I'm picturing.
Nadi, what's the history? Put the history in the chat. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, Nadi just want to be right, talking out his behind.
She also threw an object at him. He showed great restraint. I think he did too. I think if she had got somebody who was more of a hot temper like her, it could have really gone it could have really been a trending topic for real. Like with them at the airport really going at it. If she would have met somebody who was like her, I think he did show great restraint. Great restraint. And I got to give it to him for that because I'm like, girl, he's walking away, leaving. Let it be. But I think like to your point, the difference between Beyonce, Solange, and then Sha'Carri is that Sha'Carri, the look is different, like she has the weave, the long lashes, the long nails. Beyonce, Solange, they have no. You mentioned something. I'm telling you what I think the difference is. Well, people weren't upset with Beyonce or Solange versus Sha'Carri. I'm telling you, You know, like those things,
Okay.
I'm not saying it's right, but people do look at, they're like, oh, people assume when you have the long fake lashes and the lace fronts or whatever have you and the long pointy nails, they already have an image in their mind of who you are. It's no different than seeing a young man walking down the street with his pants sagging and a hoodie on his head. You know, like you get to get the depiction that he's this roughneck, he's this thug. And if it's somebody else walking next to him with a suit on, you feel like this person is an upstanding citizen, so to speak. You know, I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here? You keep looking to the side. I'm like, what happened?
No, I'm looking up her phone. I'm looking up her thing.
Oh, her history?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. But go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
You're acting like a woman can't inflict damage on a man.
See, there you go. I'm not saying that. This is what I'm saying, TT. When I looked at the video and I seen what she was doing, I was like, they act like, when I hearing the report was Sha'Carri attacked her boyfriend and she damaged him, and I'm looking like she's bumping him. She's pushing him with one arm. Really? Is that what we call? Is that what we're saying that she? And so when I look at the level how people explained it and what I was seeing on the camera, it was two different things. So, but what we're doing is now we're acting like we're supposed to hold her to the highest level of fault for having a meltdown about something that went between them. And I can't do that. I can't look at all things the same way.
Thank you. For me, I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at Sha'Carri different than I will look at it and know somebody else who had the same situation. Not for me. I'm not holding her to a higher standard because she shoved him versus somebody else who would have slapped him, or because she's an athlete, or because she's black, another person might be white. For me, I'm like, when it comes to situations like that, especially nowadays, like things can get out of hand really, really fast. And before you know it, somebody's seriously hurt, somebody's in jail, somebody lost their life, or they're in the hospital. You know, like, because when you keep pushing somebody and you keep pushing and pushing, you know, like, people sometimes snap. I don't think this is the first time that they had that kind of issue. I think it's the first time that we saw it publicly. I don't think it was the first time that they got into a heated argument. I really don't.
Yeah, neither do I.
I mean, we don't know that obviously to be 100% true because we're not behind closed doors. But I feel like that's something that
we hypothesize. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Rest.
She did this. She was in public. Her apology to him wasn't public. She didn't even mention his name. She made the apology about herself and then tweeted an apology to Coleman. Her video apology, like I don't know if you saw it when we first came on. I was saying I didn't really feel. Honestly, I felt like she was uncomfortable. I didn't really feel like she, and I will give her this. I didn't really feel like she had it written out, like a publicist or something had wrote it for her, and this is what you should say in front of the camera. I really feel like that was her, and I really feel like she didn't really know how to articulate herself. I kind of feel like she was a bit nervous, uncomfortable, because she was kind of smiling. I was like, "Girl, are you smiling at his apology?" But I was like, you know what? It's probably because she's uncomfortable. She's a little bit, weirded out about apologizing, on her. On her social media in front of the millions of people. So I'll give her grace with that. But I'm just like, I really feel like, I know she said she apologized. I love him and he's been unconditional love and so on and so forth. I'm like, girl, right now, you don't know how to receive unconditional love. She does not. She does not. I think she needs to really go ahead and heal, talk to somebody, deal with whatever trauma she, had to deal with back in her life or whatever happened. And he should just go ahead and focus on the upcoming races in Tokyo in a few weeks. Go ahead.
Okay, I found it. Okay.
You found her history? Because I mean, Nadia ain't put it inside the chat yet. I asked a few times.
Well.
So go ahead, read the history. What is it?
All right. Coleman, TSA. I pulled it up and it switched back to the old one, to the most recent one.
So if you Google Sha'Carri Richardson, I don't know, arrest history, maybe the whole thing will come up.
The perpetrator said that Richardson had appeared to throw an item at Coleman. No, see, they gave me the same one. I'm curious for
the guys in the chat. What do you guys think should be Sha'Carri's punishment, if you think she should be punished at all? I'm curious. I'm curious what y'all think. And I'm gonna ask you, do you think she should have any kind of consequence at all? It's just like, girl, it was a shove, you're fine. Don't do it. Don't do it again.
Definitely.
Bad Sha'Carri, don't do it again.
No, definitely. I think that she should do I think she should be fined. I think she should go to therapy. Doing
What kind of fine? It's about $100, 500. What you mean? What kind of fine?
Yeah, I'm not, I can't get into the money aspect of it. I mean,
I'm asking you what you think. I'm asking you what your thoughts are, because you said fine. Like, what do you think?
Find her like $5,000. I don't know, $5,000, and I would just make her. I would make sure she would have to attend a anger management thing, because basically you want to make sure that someone is downloading some stuff to her. You get what I'm saying? Not just. See, if you give her community service, community service is going to be, she's going to meet some new people and she's going to take some Instagram pictures and it's going to be nice. But I don't think that that's going to help her from a standpoint of someone pouring into her. We need people to pour into us as human beings. So yes, I do think that she should receive something like that. I really do. That's what I'm saying. I'm not absolving her. I'm just saying what she did wasn't as big how people made it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that she wasn't at fault. I'm just saying it wasn't all that deep for her to give him some chest bumps and push him. Stop.
You're not at fault. It wasn't that deep, but you're still, what you did still wasn't right.
Yeah, because the fact that you did it. But what I'm saying is,
in other words, if you saw the video,
it didn't cause you no bodily harm. It didn't cause him no bodily harm, those bumps that he was getting.
So I'm asking, if you saw the video and he was shoving her lightly, gently, and she wasn't, I guess, physically harmed, she didn't go to the hospital, she didn't have a black eye or something, you would be like, oh, it's okay. She did something. Is that would you say that if it was him?
No, see, this is the difference. You have to understand.
But this about the same thing, the same light pushes, bodies. Like nothing crazy happened. According to you, it was a little light shove. Like she, like, would you still say, okay, well, I mean, it wasn't that deep. She wasn't seriously hurt. It's okay. Community service.
I would say something to him. You know why? Because he towers over her. He's a male. He's bigger. He's stronger. I would say something. I would
you
say
just said
something,
that, but you just said the shoves though were light. So if it's the same light shoves, but what you said, and she wasn't physically harmed, just like he wasn't. So it's you're saying it's different.
Shoving somebody who weighs 200 pounds and shoving somebody who weighs 100 pounds are two different things. Even if it was the same light shove, because she's so small. I'm not going to sit there and shove no woman, and she's that small, and her frame is like that. I'm just going to get out the way. Sometimes when you have a temper, this is what I tell people: when you have a temper, you have to. I don't care if you have to run. Put on them shoes and just run, because you have to get rid of that energy that you want to knock somebody out with. You have to. Mm-hmm. It has to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. Just get out of the way. Just take off. You know what I mean? Because people are like, well, why are you taking off? Remember when what's the boy name? Tick. What's the boy name? Who married the girl? He was running from the Caucasian girl down the street. Remember?
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors. Remember Jonathan Majors?
and his career, and what happened? What happened with his career?
But look, I know. Listen, man. When he picked it up and put it back in the car, I was crying. I was like, Negro, get out. Just get out. And
even with that, I'm like, she's chasing him down the street. He's literally running. We see him on the footage running away from her. And his career, what happened to it? I'm like, and that's what I'm saying. So
no, but you're not being real about the situation.
No, I didn't say anything yet. So how am I not being real? What I was about to say was.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What I was going to say is what I'm saying. We're not holding the women accountable, because. Oh, girl, what happened to her? Messed up his whole entire career. Career. She's free to go ahead and do it to somebody else again. And that shouldn't be allowed.
Kyle, let's be real. Caucasian women can get away with almost anything in America. So let's not play like it's a level playing field.
No, I'm
It's
not
not.
talking about the fact that she's white, because no, Sha'Carri is black. There are a lot of black women in situations like that, women in general, who do things to men who accuse men of certain things, and whether or not it's
Yeah.
true, they get away with it, and the man is the one left, dealing with all the consequences, even if it's not necessarily true. So I'm not making this a thing about her being white, Sha'Carri being black. This is not a black versus white thing to me. I'm just saying more times than not, I feel like, especially nowadays, like
if I'm
it's getting to a point where what happened? I feel like it's getting to a point now where women can accuse somebody of something. People are losing their careers. They're going to jail behind things that they didn't do, and then a woman is just as guilty, or the one who's actually guilty of a situation. You okay? And she gets to get away with it. Like that shouldn't even. I feel like that to me needs to stop. You know what I mean? Like that to me is a problem. Like across the board, I'm like, if there's no consequences, it's always going to be. It's going to go someplace. Somebody's going to get killed one of these days, really and truly, because the people coming out making accusations, ruining careers and lives, and they're just walking away from it, getting paid 30 million, 20 million, whatever, 100,000. Like like at some point, it has to come to a head. It's too easy to just accuse somebody of something. Me as a woman, I can accuse you of something, and you'll deal with all the consequences, and I could be lying through my freaking teeth. Yeah, and I don't have to prove anything. I get to go on about my life and my business. Meanwhile, your reputation is sullied and your bank account is hit.
Well, okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. We're really talking about two different things. What you're talking about is how the judicial system is broke. How the judicial system don't do due diligence. They just believe what people say and lock folk up. That is
they
the
believe
laziest.
The woman more times than not. They believe the woman.
But that's my whole point. But this is what I'm saying, Kai. That's a broken judicial system. And the reason why it's easier to do it that way is because when they want to lock people up, they can just do it and go, oh, she said it, so gotta be true, So they can have a reason why they got folks in there. Now, the judge, they're gonna weigh white men differently than they do black. And they're gonna be like, oh, you gotta stay here. But with the white men, they're gonna be like, well, seeing that he hasn't done this before, and seeing that, some people have come down here to talk for him, we're going to let you go, but you stay close to home. That's what they're going to do to them. And so we got to act like we understand what we're looking at, and when we're hearing it, we just can't just put everything in the same thing. So when I see somebody Sha'Carri size pushing him, I'm like, yeah, if I was a cop and I was in the airport, I'd be like, yo, come here, y'all. I would call them both over. What y'all doing? What's going on? Why you put your hands on him? You know what I mean? I would talk to him. I would really talk to him. But you know what? Mm-hmm. People love locking folks up. Like the cop explained to her when they pull up. That's why I wish I cannot find the tape. I just downloaded it. But the cop explained to her. They said in Washington State, if it's reported within 4 hours, then you have to be arrested. That's the law. It has nothing to do with whether or not he said you did it. And she said, I can't believe that he's letting me jail. She was blaming him, but it was the TSA worker that called the cops. It wasn't him, but he just.
The cop said that. He said he has nothing to do with it. I heard the cop say in the video in the airport. Yeah. He's like, it's not his decision.
But he did confirm. But he did confirm that she was pushing him and stuff. So it was like the cops like, we already have everything that we need. So we.
They said they saw the footage. They said we have cameras. We saw it. They said that. Like,
no, but outright. They also talked to him though. They said they was also talking to him. But it was, and that's why and if you watch it to the very end, that's why I gave the cop in the car so much credit, because he just did an excellent job of calming her down, because she really was scared. And I understand that she did something wrong, but she was like, and people have to give her empathy. I'm gonna tell you why, because we all know as black folk, when you're in a white state, or you somewhere and none of your people are around, and they put you in the car, you be like, look, who can I call? All that stuff go out the window. So just remember this in your own life. When you out here, you out there, yeah, she should get all that. Remember all that. Whether you're right, wrong, or indifferent, it doesn't matter, because we all know that people deal with us differently. So don't get all happy, because she should never be in a place where she feels like she has to lose her life for pushing somebody. So that's why I feel.
I mean, but it does stem back from her actions, though. But we gotta put that. I know it wasn't. Yeah,
it doesn't justify. Oh my God. Oh, okay.
I mean,
We
that's
all know
how
that she did something
that's
wrong.
how it started.
We're not saying that. I said we're dealing with we're dealing with so many different variables. One, a broken judicial system. Two, cops who gets away from with things with impunity from doing from unaliving people. This cat, Darren Chauvin, whatever his name is, Darren Chauvin, he sat on the boy's neck till he died in front of them, and people was filming it, and he was just taking his gloves off, looking at him like, "What you gonna do to me? Nothing. Shut up." While other cops held his legs. Are you kidding me? So when I see that, that's why you can't lump everything together. And you got
I'm not lumping
here
everything together. I'm responding to what you said. You said we was talking about her being in the back of the car with the police and her being scared and stuff like that. I'm talking about her specifically. I'm not talking about George Floyd or anybody else. Her specifically, I'm saying the reason that she is, you're freaking up. The reason that she's in the back of that car is directly because of her behavior. I'm not lumping it into Jonathan Majors or Derek Chauvin and what happened with him and how he killed George Floyd and anything else. I'm about her specifically. I'm not talking about everything together. Somebody said, what about Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion? She's 6 inches taller than him and weighs more. Does it matter if the woman is bigger than the man? TT said that. TT asked that.
Does it matter if the woman is bigger than man? Can I say this to you, TT? And I mean it with all my heart. I want you to know this. And I'm saying this just for technical reasons. I'm not saying it because I advocate it. That little man would knock Megan Thee Stallion into next week. No lie. I'm not lying to you. All this snapping and all that don't mean, all that stuff don't mean anything. The snapping, the head. I tell my daughter that. My daughter is 6'1". You know? And I tell her, like, look, don't you be fighting no dudes out here. She can go a little bit. Or, you know, yeah. Nope. Just call me. Nope. Because she can go. I'll be like, look.
Go ahead.
Candid, do you think,
do I think she will lose any endorsements?
Heck
honestly, yeah. I'm gonna say I don't think so. Honestly speaking, I think because she is a woman, I think she probably won't. Now, I'm not saying that she won't get she won't have to have her day in court. She might not have like any community service or like maybe counseling or something. But in terms of Nike dropping her, and I believe she also has a Maybelline endorsement. It's some kind of beauty brand. I think it's Maybelline. I don't think that they're going to drop her. I think people are going to say, okay, well, looking at the video, okay, well, it wasn't, too crazy. He also came out and kind of defended her and said, okay, no, we're a couple, and, things happen, we get into arguments. I think if it becomes more of a bigger, like, public outrage, like people keep talking about it. People, Stephen A. Smith is talking about like bigger networks and stuff pick it up and really make it a big trending topic. I think then they'll feel like, okay, we got to respond to it. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? But I think right now, because we're talking about it more so in our community, in our culture, it's not really all across the globe. I don't think so.
Yeah. I think that she's going to lose some because guys like Marcus Wiley, Stephen A. Smith, they're going to come out and they're going to say some things. And people are always looking to yank your money away from you, especially right now in the off season from the Olympics, pretty much where of course, the races are always going on, but not to that extent. And so, a lot of these contracts, they probably want to kill them right now in the middle of it. And then probably, when it picks back up again, like, hey, Sha'Carri's back, then they'll do what they have to do. But let's just be real with Sha'Carri. A lot of the thing that people got mad with Sha'Carri was this: her smoking weed. That's what they got. That's what they wanted to hang her for. And they don't like her because she looked too bodacious. She looked like she's out there, like, oh my gosh, and that's sickening to me. But I think she would lose. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kai. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I think if anything, I forgot they have I think the next big races they have are in Tokyo, I believe. I forgot when. I know it's coming up really soon. I think if anything, any kind of punishment, I think maybe she might be banned from participating in something like that. But right now, I don't know if Nike and Maybelline are gonna drop her. I think they're gonna wait to see like how the public responds. A lot of times, people like respond based on how the public responds. It's like, okay, if they're not really making a big fuss about it, we can kind of get away with it and like let things just just kind of linger. Like with John Morant, right? He's so freaking talented. I think, but because he's so talented and people were like, well, no, Stephen A. Smith was more on his side. I think if it had really been more of a bigger thing with the whole guns, like he should be banned, and like it would have like gotten crazier. I think it probably would have felt like, man, like, do we still keep him with Gatorade or what do we do? But because it didn't get like 2 out of there, and of course the NBA, you know, they suspended him for the 25 games. I think they said, okay, we can't leave it alone and continue to make our money. Like, I think that's why, because he was seeing some sort of punishment. I think that's why they said, okay, we can kind of just, we're good. I'm like, nobody, like, we're good.
Yeah,
but Sha'Carri's not that kind of, you know, athlete, you know, so, you know, it's a little bit different. She's not bringing that kind of dough to Nike, like, you know, John Morant.
She's much easier to drop. You see what I mean? They're like, you know, if we ain't got to pay the extra couple dollars, we ain't gonna pay it, you know. So, you know, that's what I think, and I think that they would drop her, because right now, especially right now, a lot of white America, they feel emboldened by, empowered by a certain man being in office. I won't say his name because, you know, people always click, and so they just feel like they, you know, they're gonna go ahead and do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. And I think that that plays into it as well. And when you have someone who's afraid, who's a scaredy cat like Stephen A. Smith, who kind of, you know,
he hasn't talked about this at all. I don't think he is.
You don't think he is? I think he's gonna win. But
can y'all still hear me? You're frozen on my end.
He may not. You know why?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I'm just saying Malika has some health issues, so maybe he won't.
I think Stephen A. picks up topics that he knows are going to help. He's very strategic when he covers the certain topics on his platform, and I feel like he'll pick it up if he feels like it's going to help move his like political agenda. If he doesn't really feel like it's going to be a benefit, no, like it's not going to bring him views and numbers and clicks, he's not going to talk about it. So I think because this already happened now, like it's not new. He hasn't spoken about it yet. At least I haven't seen him speak about it yet. So I don't think he is. I saw Marcellus cover it, you know, when it first happened, and he didn't really go in on Sha'Carri at all. You know, like I mean, he kind of stayed in the middle, so to speak. He didn't really say anything too crazy. I haven't seen Jason Whitlock if he said anything yet, because I know Jason Whitlock be saying all kind of stuff. But well, yeah,
he crazy everywhere.
Yeah, hold on. So Nadi says, so there's no woman that can beat up any man? Question mark. I like to believe that when it comes to me, but I know that ain't true, especially if the man fails to defend himself.
Well, failing to defend yourself and a woman can beat any man is two different things. So, is there a woman who can beat men? Yeah, I think so. I think with training, but I don't think any normal woman walking down the street is going to knock some man out. That ain't gonna happen. Just got somebody, a young lady who just built a certain way, like Lil Senna got some girth to her. Yeah, I think anybody can get knocked out. But my whole point is that if we just speak in general, no, I just think that I just know that men, because come on now, the way men fight each other, those lists that we be giving each other are completely no
different. Yeah,
no. That's some next level stuff, dude. And you know what I'm talking about. Anybody? You know what I'm talking about. Because I don't want to get into all that. You know, they're looking at I'm sissy out here talking some mess.
Abuse isn't taken seriously for either gender. You know, I think on the, I guess like I think the thing is that when it comes to men putting hands on women, you'll see a man get arrested first, even if the woman's the one that did it. If the police come and they see that he has a mark, automatically he's the one that goes. He could have been like, she hit me, I didn't even touch her, you know, but they're gonna be like, okay, you're the man in the situation, you have, you know, the bloody lip, so you're gonna go. But I don't feel like they spend a significant amount of time behind bars for domestic violence. You have women who are in shelters, women who are killed, trying to get away from men who won't leave them alone, who are abusing them in certain situations. A lot of times they'll tell you to go ahead and get a restraining order, like it's supposed to do something to protect you. You know, like you got to call the police first, and hopefully you can call and they can get to you before the person gets to you, you know, and you lose your life. But I do understand what you're saying with that, you know, stay curious, because yeah, I really feel like a lot of times the men will get arrested, but they'll just get released, you know, like the next day or like a day or two later. It should really be taken a lot more serious. Too many women have like lost their lives.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy when it breaks down like that. Some men can't. May have too much. We have too much strength. And to come at a, to ever like fighting a woman. You know what I mean? It's like it's just completely different. It's just different, man. It's like people want to sit there. Well, if he did it, well, it's completely different, dude.
That's why I
And I
said if
understand.
he had, I don't know how Christian grew up, but if he if he grew up in the same way or similar to how she grew up with the trauma, and responding in situations like that, that situation
Mhm.
could have really gone someplace else. Like he really was like, okay,
Yeah.
let me move. Like if he would have responded differently, like he would have got upset. Like she had a firecracker like her. Thank God she had that balance. Somebody who's like, no, okay, fine, whatever,
Yeah, the yin
and
and
just
the
let her
yang,
rock
right?
out. Yeah, because you get a different
Yeah,
kind of man. You get a
yeah.
different kind of
But you
man as
know what?
well.
Yeah, she would have known how to. She know. See, Sha'Carri's not stupid. She knows what
If
she's
she
doing.
had different
You know
kind
what
of
I mean?
man, she probably wouldn't have done it to begin with. Maybe you know what you're saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. She would have been. She would have did that. She would have did that. Yeah, man. I keep telling folks. Anybody who's been in a fight, they know. You deal with things accordingly. It's like, nah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to start that up today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thing with her. I'm glad that she's all right. I thank God for the man that dude is, because some people say, why did he tell? Well, he had to tell. You know what I mean? Because if he don't tell, then she gonna make up something that's gonna be the truth. So he had to tell the truth. He had to say, nah, she was putting her hands on me, and he had to say what he had to say. Whether the camera's there or not. So I'm glad that he did, but I'm also glad that he gave her grace. And he's saying, that she needs help. Everybody needs grace. You know what I mean? I'm glad. I'm proud of him the way he handled it, and the way he pretty much just kept away from her to the best of his ability in
I
that
hope he
moment.
legit stays away from her.
Yeah, so do I.
Some is
So do
gonna
I.
lose
They
their
don't need to be near
career.
each other.
Like really, really and
It's
true.
not
Like I
even a
said,
career to me.
like
It's just y'all don't mesh. You don't mesh, dude. No high five and giggles. The sex is not that important. You can find somebody
mhm,
else. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. Cause I just be real with people. Everybody was talking about you the Christian.
mhm,
I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. That's what people do. So,
mhm.
find somebody else, dog. But I wouldn't deal. If I was his dad or mom, I'd be like, don't go around her. I would make his sister
Yeah.
travel with him, like travel with him, and knock her out when she gets next to him. Oh man, but it is what it is. But
Somebody said it is common for victims to defend abusers. It is common. People like, yeah, especially women. It's like, no, it's okay. He didn't mean it. Like he's just upset. Like I made him mad. Like it's my fault. Please don't arrest him. Kind of thing. So yeah, that is true. He needs to stay away. He definitely needs to get her to hook up with someone else. I don't know if he's gonna do that part, but I definitely think he needs
yeah,
to stay away. They both need to just focus on the upcoming races for right now, because right now they're both competing. And whatever happened was going on with her, she lost her race. So she needs to just really focus on that and really try to rebrand herself. I think publicists need to come in, because right now people have a certain image of her, especially after that video. People already assume when you have a wig and weave, when you have long nails and lashes, that you're a dummy. Like you're like you're not intelligent, you haven't read any books, like you grew up in a hood someplace. That's always the narrative people go with, is when they see you like that. So, but I really feel like even aside from how she dresses or whatever have you, and her nails, I don't really care about that. I really feel like she needs to go like deal with her past traumas, whatever those are. She needs to deal with those skeletons in her closet.
amen. No, I agree with you. I'll just say, I always say this: whether you do everything that I like for you to do, and I don't care how you dress, I don't care what book you read, I don't care,
Mm-hmm.
what church you attend or don't attend. You're human. You're a human being. You have human rights, and you don't want your inalienable rights stripped away from you, just because somebody think because you have on the wrong clothes or you don't dress like this one or that one, and we're really systematized by colonialism, and we need to really break free from that.
TT said that he likes her style. Some no, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not even trying to be funny now. Really, but people they see that, when they see, I don't know how many podcasts you guys follow, TT, Naughty, Stay Curious. I'm so tired of seeing I saw some of the comments from black men. It was so infuriating. I really wanted to comment, but I said, let me just stay out of it because they're not talking about me personally, but I thought they are. It's like, oh, she's black. This is why I date my girlfriend's white. This is why, I stopped messing with black women because they're all ghetto. They have no accountability. They're all the fake nails and the fake hair. They're just, I'm like, what is this attack? And why are we always as black women? Maybe you guys in the chat can explain to me. Maybe I'm missing something with this new wave of generation of men. I'm so tired of seeing those comments or those podcasts that put black women, all of us, in the same category as being ghetto and this, because I wear extensions. I wear my real hair too sometimes. So that means what? I'm from the hood of hoods, and I can't carry on intellectual conversation. I'm ratchet. I have all kinds of baby daddies. I'm like, what does this stuff come from? Where are we getting this from? What's going on? It's not case by case though. Maybe for you, but I've seen so many maybe because it's people make money off of it, and people found their audience with that. But it's so many black men are like, nah, I'm done with black women. This is why I don't deal with them, because you always get stuff like this. And that joke that what's his name made. I thought about that when I saw the video when he was like, what's his name? Is it Andrew Schultz? Is it Schultz? When he made a joke about black women, black men being abused by their black girlfriends or whatever have you. And a lot of black women were upset, black folks were upset about it. Ryan Clark called him out, and then he went to the Pivot, and they spoke about it and had a conversation. And I thought about that video. I'm like, like the video happened. I thought about that. I was like, oh, this is what he was talking about. But people do make those kind of jokes. I didn't find it funny at all. So I'm just like, I haven't beat on anybody I dated. I'm not going around beating up on men. But that narrative, I'm just like, what's going on? It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it is because a lot of black men have weak minds. A lot of us, unfortunately, we have weak minds. We think of black women we look through the prism of the women that we've dated, and if we can't control them or if we don't get along, then they just lump all the black women into one category, and it's not true.
Not all of y'all are ghetto, but Sha'Carri.
My wife is dark here.
Not all of y'all are ghetto, but Sha'Carri. I think Sha'Carri looks, depending on how you grew up, she may look to you like she's ghetto. But in terms of her personality, I don't really know her like that. I can't really say, I could say she looks like she comes from the ghetto, just because of the whole narrative you think. You see somebody who has weed, long nails, and long lashes or whatever have you. But she may not be that way. She really might not when you talk to her behind closed doors. When you have a conversation with her or you interview her, she could be a very different personality.
During the whole arrest, when she was in the car, she was like, you could hear her voice start to crack. She was crying. She was sweet to the cops the whole time. She was like, no, but can I just talk? I can tell that she just wasn't aware. She's just used to fighting and it just be over. She wasn't aware of law, oh my God, I'm really going to jail. Like the moment, once your adrenaline goes down, and it's like, wait a minute, this is really happening. And I felt, oh my God, I felt so bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was bawling. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really was. I was just like, I just really felt bad for her, because I was like, I understand how you can get upset, and then sometimes it's like, okay, oh my God, well, what's happening? You know what I mean? And she was all alone. No one was there for her. And I was just like, that really is a shame. And everybody said, well, you should have thought about that when you was putting your hands on. As once again, I can tell people who haven't been in relationships, they probably sit home and masturbate, so they don't have any relationships. So that's what I know about life.
I don't think that's a fair assessment. Because on the opposite side of it, I don't feel like that.
Dude, I know, it's fair.
I don't want to put anybody into one lump sum of something. I'm a woman, I've had relationships, and I don't agree. I think she put herself in that situation, so I didn't feel bad about her being arrested. Andrew Schultz, you said anybody. You didn't say men.
I didn't. Anybody,
you said anybody. You said anybody. You didn't say men specifically.
I apologize to you 3 times tonight. You don't reach your maximum capacity, so you ain't getting no more. Anyway, Andrew's joke was funny.
Nadi says Andrew Schultz joke was funny. Sensitive men got in their films. I don't think it was funny at all. I don't. I think he's trying to be funny, but it speaks to he tried to speak to all black women. I didn't find that funny at all. I actually love the fact that RC spoke out and said, like, okay, well, what black women are you referring to? Because my mother has been like this, my sister, my wife. Like, stop putting all of us in one category as if we all behave like that when we get upset in relationships. It's not fair to all of us. That's like saying all black men have bad credit, all black men are cheaters, all black men are liars, all black men are dogs, or all black men are stupid, whatever it is. It's the same to me, the same equivalent. Not all black men aren't present fathers. You know, they're all all drug dealers and thugs. Like, I don't like that narrative. Like, don't put that for all black women. There are a lot of educated black women who are doing their thing in healthy marriages, healthy relationships. A lot of black women are entrepreneurs nowadays. A lot of black women are entrepreneurs. You know, they have their own businesses, that they got cars, they got houses by the age of 21. Like, it's not just all people who are ghetto and hood, but baby daddies.
Amen. Amen. Hey, I gotta give you your props, Lord, Kai. You be handling your business, though. On these lives, you be handling your business. No, seriously, you be handling your business. You really do. You do a good job.
Thank you. Hold on. We laugh when black comedians pull out wit women in a box to get a laugh. Andrew Schultz is a comedian. It has to be taken serious. I've heard Kevin Hart make plenty of jokes. And by the way, I love me some Kevin Hart. I saw him in person twice, you guys, and I'll be cracking my ass up, okay? Especially when I see an old video. I'm like, and I've seen it probably like 10 times over, but I'll be crying. I love Kevin Hart. If you know me, you know I love me some Kevin Hart. But I haven't heard a joke like that. I think there's a way a comedian can be funny without talking about that. Like I said, I feel like he spoke to maybe what his friends told him, or maybe he thought he saw, whatever have you. And then to have two black men sitting there next to him who were laughing about it, I didn't like it at all. I don't like it. I didn't think it was funny at all. We aren't all the same. I don't want to put all black men the same. Like, also, oh, black men aren't present dads. Like, there are a lot of black men who are very, very great fathers. You know what I mean? Like, but the narrative is that a lot of times, like, I work around a lot of white people, and whenever I talk about my son, the first thing they always ask, and it's to no fault of their own, they don't mean any harm. One of the first questions is always, "Is his dad around? Was his dad in the picture?" Like, they always ask that question, and I think that because the narrative is that a lot of times black women are single mothers and the dad's not in the picture. So they always think that when we talk, like I talk about my son, it's like, oh, no, do you put the dad as a dad around? It's always the question that comes up every single time, you know, like, and I'm like, his dad is very much in the picture. Yes, he knows who his dad is, you know, like, he's not, I didn't get pregnant by somebody I met on a one night stand kind of thing. Like, you know, like, it wasn't like nothing like that. But that's that's the narrative is what I'm saying. And when we keep having jokes and television shows, we spoke with Tyler Perry, you know what I mean? Just briefly. And when we show like television shows that kind of also show that the black woman is by herself, doing everything on her own. But there are a lot of black women who are like that, truly, you know what I mean? But there are also a lot of women who have support, who have husbands, you know, like that's one side of it, not the whole side of it, is my point.
Yeah, well, you know, even with when we talk about Ryan Clark,
what's up, Mick? I haven't seen Mick in the chat in a minute. Good to see you, Mick. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mick Swagger. That's funny. But if Gary Owen had made that joke, you know, I could swallow it better with Gary Owen making that joke. You know,
his wife was Gary black? His ex-wife?
Yeah, you know, Gary Owen, remember Think Like a, you know, the white guy from Think Like a Man?
Yeah, I'm saying because his ex-wife was black. Is that why you think of that? Because he really had a black wife.
I thought you didn't know who he was. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know who people are. I think you.
Oh God, it's always anyway. Black women, I'm playing, but you know, I could swallow it a little bit better. But even Gary has some trepidation about some of his joke or how he approached the joke. I'm not saying how he feels. I'm talking about with how he delivers. You know, so I understand there's a difference. You just can't be, to me, you just can't walk in this culture and say what you want to. It's too many things that happen in order for you to talk about, oh, it's just a joke. That lets me know that, you know what that lets me know? That you probably never lost it to anything that has to do with racial or inequality. That it hasn't touched your life yet. When it does, you'll change it. You'll change it too.
I don't, like I said, I'm all for a joke. I find a lot of things funny. But I've seen some jokes about people in wheelchairs, and I'm like, ooh, that was wow, it was funny, but I'm just like, man, that's a very sensitive subject. If I'm sitting in a wheelchair, I may not find it funny because I'm the one sitting there in a wheelchair,
Okay.
you know. So sometimes jokes can be pushing it, but to me, the joke, it wasn't a joke. It was more so to me, he was talking about a narrative. You know what I mean? And for two black
Mhm.
men to be sitting there and to not correct him at all and say, wait, hold on, you know, like I don't
Exactly.
like my mother is black, she's not like that, you know, like to just sit there and laugh. And then when they caught, it was a big you know, they caught a backlash. They kind of went ahead and, you know, tried to apologize to the community. And well, you know, like, no, you were laughing, just own it. Just own it. I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah,
funny
yeah.
if they're not talking about you, you know, but like all this, oh, get your passport, bro, and go overseas and get you a wife and so on and so forth. How many black men have lost their careers due to to white women? So let's not, their lives too. I've seen some stories lately, you know, like with white women who are killing their black boyfriends, getting away with it, all kind of stuff. So let's stop acting
Oh
like, you know, going on the white side is always the right side.
yeah. Get Out is not just a movie. Yeah,
It was
it's a
funny
real
because he
thing.
wasn't talking about black men. It was funny to you. It wasn't funny to black women. As a black woman, I didn't find it funny at all.
I know it wasn't
I
funny
don't
to
want I
me.
don't want to be put I don't want to be put in I don't want to be put in a category with women who abuse their boyfriends when I'm not one of those women. Don't put me in it. So if you want to make a joke about your own experience, then talk about that. But don't put all of us in there.
And what get me is that because black women are not afraid to clap back at their boyfriends when they do something doesn't mean that they're abusing their boyfriends. They're just standing up for their rights. So if they're like going back and forth and you see him, the only thing you can see is that's a sassy black woman. You're not worrying about what he did, how did they get to that point. You know, that's all you worrying about. And then after she get locked up, you know what you're gonna do next. This is how you know you're a racist. Here's your acid test. Now you want him to get locked up because you're looking for something for him to do. Because that's what the whole thing is. There's no empathy. There's no rationalization when it comes to black folks. You just look for the next one. It's like I'm gonna take that one out, then I'm gonna go after the next one. So, because y'all be like, isn't he the one who was arguing with his girlfriend? It's like a chump. Don't be a chump.
Stay curious. Do you think black comedians should stop doing white, Asian, and Latino jokes going forward? There are
Like from
some
who?
jokes that are
From who?
he's accent Nadi's
I know, but from
accent
who?
huh?
He
What'd
has
you
to
say?
stay curious then. Oh, he's
Yeah, that's
asking
what I
to
was
stay
saying.
curious.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. I think y'all missing the point. Nobody said he can't tell a joke. There are plenty of black jokes. No, people, black women or black people only, you know, eat fried chicken and watermelon. You know, I mean, there's all kind of, you know, cultural, you know, jokes, all kind of jokes that we can put. But I guarantee you, when it comes to other communities, like people who are Asian and Latino, like they're not gonna when it comes to black people, they push it even further because they can get away with it. Certain
Yeah.
cultures, you push it too far. Like that girl from Love Island, she just said something about her eyes looking chinky. The whole girl is banned from Love Island, and she had to go on and apologize for being a racist. And people were, I'm like, what happened? And I saw what she said, and I was like, that was a racist comment. Because really, I say I have chinky eyes myself. I didn't really realize that was offensive to the Asian community. But the fact that she was evicted from Love Island, they were no, like seriously. I mean, like her mom, her family spoke out, and she was like getting like death threats. I'm like, wow, y'all. Like, and when you actually saw what she said in the context in which she said it, to me, it didn't come across as racist. But but that's what I'm saying though. When it comes to other cultures, they don't play that. If they even feel like you made any kind of joke that's anything that's like, wait, hold on, you may feel you were trying to be funny, you know, as a comedian or whatever. They're like, absolutely not. We won't tolerate it. We want you banned. We want you canceled. We want you like whatever. And that's what happens.
Oh yeah, definitely. And see, this is where the problem comes in at when you're talking about now look at Love Island. Now look at Love Island. It really is a melting pot. I watched every season, but this season, believe it or not. But you
You
know,
watch Love
for
Island?
them to come on, yeah, I watched faithfully. This is the first year that me and my wife didn't watch it. This is so because you know
Okay.
we watch all black things anyway.
I didn't
But
watch my mom watch
this
it.
is
I'm like, I can't do it.
yeah, it really is good. It really is good.
It's so long to me. I like The Bachelor personally. So The Bachelor, maybe Love is Blind. I can kind of deal with that one. Or 90
Oh, you talking
Days
about
to
Tommy show? No.
it's
Love
another
is Blind.
show. It's
On
a show that comes
ABC.
on with Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey. I forgot the name of it. I think it's like
Oh
you
yeah, that
gotta,
was
yeah.
really good.
That to
It
me
was
is
on
okay. I can
Netflix.
like, yeah, you so that is on Netflix. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
But Love Island to me
yeah,
is so long. It's like 50 episodes. I'm like, what's going on with this season? Like, if people like ever gonna leave the freaking island, what's happening?
yeah. I'm surprised that we missed it, but Love Island did something they did what Big Brother had did for years. It'd always be a disparity. Like it'll be like 3 blacks, and they'll pick a real dark skinned black girl, and they'll put on there. And I'll never forget the season that one light skinned black brother had really like courted this girl. He was in love with her. Of course, they broke up after they got out. But anyway, I
That
really
always
loved
happens,
it
right? They're always
because
hot on the island, and then once they leave the island, it just dies
yeah,
like
and
a month
he's
later.
like,
It's
oh, you
like,
remind me of my mom. Yeah, he was like, he couldn't wait for his mom to meet her and help me. Yo, man, I'm a sappy dude, so I'm just like, yeah, because I'm all for our people trying to make it, man. And for him to rescue her, see her out of all these little white girls, everybody went, oh yeah, girl, want to do all the little TikTok stuff, but for him to recognize her and made her a queen. I mean, he really did it for her, man. I was so proud of that brother, man. I swear, I was trying to get him on my show, but they ended
oh my
up breaking
God.
up. But I mean, because
Oh my
I'm
God.
really for
I
black
believe you. I
women.
believe you.
Yeah.
You said a black man
Shoot.
trying to be a superhero for a black woman. Put him on the show. Put him on ESPN. Put him on CNN. Like, I know
That's
how you
right.
are.
That's right, baby. That's my people,
OMG.
man. I love my people, man.
No,
Shoot.
and DJ, to your question, why do we have to be ashamed of fried chicken? Are Italian people ashamed of spaghetti and meatballs? I don't feel ashamed because I personally love chicken. Okay, like like say what you want. I can find a million different ways to cook chicken every single week.
Oh, DJ,
But I can grill
you know
it,
what the problem?
bake it, fry it. But nevertheless, I feel like I'm not ashamed of it. I just feel like people assume like black people only know fried chicken, only know fast food. We're not cultured enough. That's the way I receive it. Like we're not cultured enough to know what other fruit tastes like. Like I like watermelon, also I like all kind of different fruit, like all kind of different food. But that's always the assumption. It's like, oh, fried chicken, watermelon. Like I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
But,
White folks eat
DJ,
fried chicken too. They just don't season their chicken, but they like fried chicken.
But DJ, this is where you go wrong, bro. How many people get teased for eating spaghetti? How many people are, have them looking in the camera with their lips squeezed? That's my whole point. They don't get teased for eating. We get teased for eating fried chicken. We get teased for eating. For anything that we do, we get teased for it. But everybody want to be us. But they want to tease you for it. And it's looked at as ghetto. You know what I mean? So when you're weighing things, I need you to critically think, like, okay, what is it? When the last time I laughed at a Italian eating a spaghetti joke? But when was the last time I laughed at a black person eating chicken joke? And I bet you've never laughed at a Italian eating spaghetti. It's always looked at as like, oh yeah, that's part of their heritage. That's part of that, because we have no real culture. We have part of American culture. It's not an African culture. That they're from Italy. That come from their whole land. So expect it more. You give them more grace. So stop being a chump and look it up, bro.
And I think he was asking a question. I don't think he was. No, I think it's really
I'm giving. Stop being a chump and look it up.
Natty, they made race jokes because they dealt with it their entire life. It was grounded in their experiences.
Natty, they made race jokes. Who are they? Who are they?
Mick Jagger, the racist jokes made by black comments don't always or usually embody oppression. Many times they're teasing other ethnic groups and then they degrade their own. Selective outrage.
Oh, you missed the double entendre. Shut up.
Look, like I said, I think a lot of times, and I always tell you this, I feel like because we don't we always look the other way when it comes to our people. It's like, oh, well, that's okay. They're just making a joke, or they didn't really mean. It's like we always find a way to kind of excuse other races when they make jokes or say certain things about our culture and our people. But other races, they
Mhm.
don't tolerate it. Let you go ahead and make a joke about the LGBTQIA community, and you could just be you could have a friend who's gay or part of that community, but if you make a joke that's offensive, and you are a popular figure, public figure, excuse me, they'll call for you to be canceled. They'll call it for a public apology. Like they want you to take that joke down. Like they and there's consequences too. I mean, you can't. Like Kevin Hart made a
But
joke years ago about his son not wanting him to be, gay, and he couldn't host the Oscars. I'm like, can you
playing with your
apologize?
mouth
Like, I
off.
already apologized for that. I already apologized for that like 3 or 4 times. I'm not doing it again. And he couldn't host the Oscars. I'm like, that was so old. But they're still holding him to that. You know what I mean? But if it was the other way around and somebody white made a joke about, black women or black men being in jail, not being fathers, they wouldn't have had the same they wouldn't have the same feeling about it. They would have been like, oh, it's okay. It's a joke.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do to our they do to our people. We're the only ones that are supposed to get offended.
To not get offended.
Well, we
are supposed to not get offended.
I'm sorry, not get offended. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me move these wires.
And that's the thing. Like nowadays, if you say something about it, it's like, oh, they're part of that woke agenda. They're all woke. It's exhausting. Black people are always claiming race. Black people always claiming racism. I'm like, every time we speak out, why does it have to be with claiming racism? Like y'all don't say that about nobody else when they speak out about something at all. Like it's like we have to just sit there and be quiet and not say anything at all, because if we do, then we're claiming racism, or we're racist, or we're part of this woke agenda, or whatever. We only do it to each other, like we only do it to each other, which is why other people feel like they can do it to us. Then like us, I told you before, like we don't stick together at all, and that's why we always the brunt of a joke or something like that all the time, and nobody else really is.
No, you're right, but let me say this about our people. The reason why, sometimes for one thing, we really have to understand that we're truly not a monolith. We truly don't all think alike, and we're not the Borg on Star Trek. If y'all know what I mean, who the Borg is. So, we have to understand that a lot of what we see in American culture, there's no other ethnicity, there's no other race of people who have been targeted to being negative, criminal, poor, trashy, fatherless than the Black culture. So a lot of us are programmed already to not like what we see. That's why a lot of us get mad when we get darker in the summertime. We get upset when we are sometimes if we're tall or if we're lanky, we think, oh, I want to look like that. And a lot of us are still affected by it. So when we see things, a lot of us are programmed. We don't even know that we're programmed, but we're really programmed to hate ourselves. We truly are programmed. Back in the day when we used to wear devil jeans, I don't know if y'all remember devil jeans.
Yeah, no, I don't know that. Yeah.
The big belt, the name belts and everything. Everything we've done.
The name belts, copied. Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But anyway, so everyone copies off of us, but they want to also drag us for it. I am going to. It was something about K-pop I seen the other day, but nevertheless. But that's the reason why a lot of us we're so programmed. That's why some of us think the way we think. Comics are supposed to be taken comics. Okay, comics are supposed to take seriously unless a white guy uses an N-word. I'm not offended.
I'm offended, and you know this. I don't care who uses it. Don't call me that. You know how I feel. Like me and you spoke about this before, like on the phone, like in conversation. Don't call me any kind of N-word at all. My name is Kaja. Address me as Kaja. If you don't know how to pronounce it, I'll tell you.
But I'm just saying,
I used to have a best friend, like he always used that word, like, what's up, Mom? He's like, oh, I forgot. I'm like, yep, don't do it. Like, no, I think it's insulting to our ancestors. I always tell him this. I'm like, I think it's insulting to our ancestors, really and truly. I think it's disrespectful to what they went through. So for me, I tell my son the same thing. I'm like, we don't do that. You find something else to call somebody.
Yeah.
But we're not using that word. That's just the way I feel about it. So for me, somebody white uses it, I'm just as offended. I'm not looking at like, oh, he's black, so like it's cool, like my guy. Like, no, my name is Kaja. You can call me
Yeah.
sis.
Yeah.
You want to say bro,
Man,
homie, whatever, but don't call me the N-word.
She my buddy, but we do see that a little bit differently. I'm not going to go into what I think, but I'll just say this: that a Caucasian dude, but never call me that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I think, like I said, like because we have it in our songs, because we're okay with one another saying it. That's why they feel that is part of the reason. That's part of the reason. Because, like I said, with that girl on Love Island, it is, in my opinion, it is. That girl on Love Island, she made that one comment about her eyes being chinky, talking about herself. It wasn't disrespectful, it wasn't rude, but the Asian community found it to be offensive and racist, and she was removed from that show. It didn't really matter. Like when you call somebody who's Hispanic a spick, like there's just certain terminology you cannot use. They don't allow it. So across the board, you can't call them that. Don't call each other that. But because we do say it, like people feel like, okay, well, you say it. Like if you refer to yourself, like with women, when you call yourself a bad bitch and a man refers to you as a bitch, it's like, well, don't call me that. And I hear men say, well, you call yourself that. What's the problem? If you call yourself a bad bitch, why can't I call you a bitch? You know what I mean? People like that's always what people say.
The same reason I can feel my wife's behind, then you can't. That's why.
That's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different conversation.
No, it's not.
When it comes to your wife, yes. Or your husband, yes.
No, it's not. She's a woman. She's cute.
But she's your wife, though, so you can touch her that way. A stranger can't.
But that's the reason. You're not in the family. You're not in the family.
We're not each other's family nowadays. But what we even talking about? We are so freaking divisive.
I'm talking about.
We might have the same complexion, but our race is so far divided, it's not even close.
Well, I'm talking about African Americans. I'm not talking about.
Hold on. No, I'm not saying that she was a comedian. I'm just saying that what I'm saying is that, like I said, we always find a way to excuse certain behaviors. It's like, oh, well, it's okay because, like this is my guy, so he can say that, but you're not my guy, so you can't say that. And whether or not we realize it, like certain things, I mean, not for everybody. I'm not gonna say for everybody white, that's why they use the word. I'm not gonna put it for everybody white in the world. But people do feel like it's okay. Like when you see a woman, I think me and you spoke about this before, when you see a woman who's dressed a certain way. As a man, you should not put your hands on anybody unless you've been given permission to. But when you see a woman at a club and she has her cheeks out, and men sometimes give a little tap, it's like they feel they can do that because why? You don't really have respect for yourself. You have it hanging out. You must want somebody to touch it. You're looking for attention.
God.
I'm not saying I agree with it. No, I just said that. I said that. But what I'm saying is when they see a woman like that, they're thinking, you want attention? Let me give it to you. Not all men, but that does happen sometimes.
Oh, give it here.
Wow, I don't know what's going on.
No, that was Joe Tex. You don't see. That's what I'm talking about. You don't know about Joe Tex. You know what?
I don't. I respectfully, I don't.
When there's an age disparity here, it's a huge age disparity.
Clearly,
so
that's fine. That's fine.
Hey, look. Hey, look.
But no, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that it's right, and because somebody has, they're showing their body, that means that it gives you license to touch them, grab them, or whatever. But a lot of times men feel like, oh, you don't have any respect for yourself, you got everything hanging out, so come on, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. No, I got you. Let me turn this mess off. But oh God, turn it off. But in relationship to the eye thing that the lady said, I'll say this to that. In our community,
I never even heard that was a thing. I was like, that's racist.
Yeah, exactly. See, to us,
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it is because my son keeps me abreast. But for us to say, because we'll say something like that, we'll say chinky eyes. You know what I mean? Oh, I got chinky eyes, and that just means. But when they hear the word chink, that is a derogatory statement towards them. And so when they heard it, they're like, "What? What are you saying?" But we never say it in front of them. We're not like other people who call us N-words in front of everybody. You get what I'm saying? We used to say stuff on the down low. Yeah, yo, I got baby hair, I got chinky hair, and then it's like everybody like, "Oh, that's so cool, that's so cool." But that's how we take it.
How is chink racist? I'm missing something. Like, how does that correlate?
Because remember, in California, they had something when they brought the Chinese over to America for the railroads, to build the railroads, and they had to build the railroads. And over in California, they had something called it Chinaman's Leap, and they said that Chinese people was leaping off the side of the mountain, but they was really being pushed off. You know who gave me? My dentist gave me the breakdown of that, and it was just like I was sitting there like, what? Yeah. Dr. Lou, yeah, he was breaking it all down to me. He was like, yeah, man. He said how they did, their people over here when they brought them over and made them, built the railroads and everything. But it was crazy. It was crazy.
So that also drives me crazy. We are the only culture that always wants to go with the whole cancel thing. I don't see anybody white canceling in people who are white, Jews doing this to other Jews, LGBTQIA community, Asians. They don't have this whole cancel culture amongst each other. Like, we hold each other to the highest of standards that we don't hold nobody else to across the world. It is so crazy to me. I'm like, we'll still buy Balenciaga in spite of the fact that he had, the children dressed a certain way in his ads with his clothing. We had a little attitude about it, but we still buy Balenciaga. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. But when it comes to our race, it's like, oh, cancel him. Don't go to his tour. Don't buy his tickets. I'm like, oh, why are we canceling him for that or her for that? It's like, it's wild.
Exactly.
Brother D, what is racist? DJ's asking me that.
A racist is someone who despises someone or holds someone back or repeats someone from any progress based on their ethnicity. Based on their origin and ethnicity. A bigot is someone who discriminates on someone because they believe that because you don't look like me, or for whatever reason it is, that you are incapable of being certain things. So that's the difference between a bigot and a racist. A bigot just believes you ain't nothing, and they believe that, in their mind, they have autonomy and they just believe that this is what you are. That's what they're doing with Shedeur. That's what the
I was just thinking about Shedeur, but I didn't want to go in that subject because I had made a post about him earlier, and some of the comments were like, "Oh, he's a clown. He should go back to the CFL." I was like, "Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry, sir? Like, who hurt you?"
They believe already.
Smile. It's
like, you can't do it. Yeah, they believe that you can't do it. A racist, they believe it because of basically it's based on your ethnicity, that which you can do. But a bigot.
Nadi said yes, the I thing is considered racist to Asians. It started when the United States started to expel Chinese workers from the country in the 19th century. I honestly never knew that because my eyes are chinky. I've heard that comment before. Oh, you have really chinky eyes. Like, and I never thought it was. If I had said it, on this platform, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, what? Really? Like, I mean, I hadn't. Maybe I don't know. I need to go back and read some more history books. Maybe I don't know, but I didn't have the two together. I didn't know at all. Honestly.
You said you were glad at work.
I thought it was new. I was like, this new?
You said it. She gonna say it at work. They gonna be like, you gonna hear a literal needle going across the record.
I mean, now that I know, like, I'm like, okay, I'll know not to use it. But I'm just like, wow, But the fact that, like I said, if you saw the context in which she said it, and she was referring to herself, like she didn't mean any harm at all. Like, I'm like, but they label her racist, I'm like, y'all, like, come on. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're so quick to jump on somebody, like, so fast, like we just jump on them, boom.
Yeah, most definitely.
Hey, Aaron, how are you? I haven't seen you on here in a minute. What's goody? How are you?
We missed you, Double A. That's what we
We've been on here for a hot minute, though. Aaron, you should have come to the party sooner. You missed it. Riveting conversation, lad. Riveting conversation. You missed it. You missed it.
Somebody told me that we were going to be on for an hour. That's what someone told me.
I said that, you guys.
Listen, I'm not the gatekeeper.
I always say I don't want to be on live for super, super long because I don't want anybody like to tune out and get like tired. But you guys are engaging, like you guys are fine with it, so I'm fine with it. Because I had a long day, I was exhausted. You know, like I was half asleep on that post about Shedeur earlier. I was like, what did I even say? I had to go back and listen to it. I was like,
she kind of get energy when I'm around. That's what it is.
What?
Because I bring the best out of Kai. I said I bring the best out of you. What?
You know what? God brings people in your life for a certain reason, you know, so maybe that's why, you know.
Oh, praise
Hold
hallelujah.
on. Nadi said, bigotry wasn't involved with Shedeur. We got to stop watering down the race card by overusing it when it's not necessary. Let's use it for serious issues that involve melanated people. You don't think that Shedeur dropped into that fifth round? You think it was all just because they honestly felt that he wasn't talented enough to go before, like in the first or second round? And you can, I'm asking you honest, your honest opinion, you know? I'm just, to me, no, reading what Nadi put in the chat.
Oh, I'm gonna answer Nadi in a minute. Go ahead, please.
No, like I said, I really, I'm gonna highlight this comment again. Anybody who hasn't seen it. I was trying to give him a chance to type in the chat a little bit. Like I said, like for me, there's no way.
We gotta stop watering down the race card by over yielding it when it's not necessary. Let us use serious. Let's use it for serious issues. That about. All right. Now, are you ready?
Hold on, real quick. Hold on. Thank you, DJ. I'm glad. Hold on. Shedeur didn't have undeniable talent to mishandle interviews. But that's what I'm saying, though. To have his dad being Deion Sanders, do we really believe that he let him, or he told him that it was okay to come into an interview not being prepared? Like, Deion is not a fool, neither is Shedeur. Let's just be honest right here. You think he would come in? I'm Shedeur Sanders. I don't have to come prepared at all. I don't have to know anything. I don't have to answer any questions. I'm just Shedeur, and he show my wrist, my AP, so to speak, and I'm okay with that. I also saw someone that said he came into one of the interviews with headphones on. I'm like, people actually really believe this? That he really came unprepared and with headphones on, just like, hey, what's good? I'm here. Sign me up kind of vibe. To me, I don't believe it. Everything leading up was about his talent. He should be projected to go within the top 5. And then second round, third, fourth, fifth. It just went on and on and on and on and on. And then the things that were coming out, it wasn't even more so about his talent. It was about him as a person, how he was arrogant, how he had this ego and all these different things. I'm just like, if Arch Manning, I don't know if he's going to come out next year, but if he does, he has that Manning last name, If he was just as confident, I like to say confident, it wouldn't be an issue. It wouldn't be an issue. If he's like, I know I'm talented, so on and so forth, it wouldn't be an issue. But that's not. But hold on. Somebody he just said something. Hold your thought real quick. So yes, did you hear Deion prior to the draft? Once they say where he got drafted, that's not what I said. I was talking about the narrative that he came into interviews unprepared. Deion is not a fool. He knows that Shedeur, above anything else, number one, he's black. That's number one. He knows that he has a Sanders last name, number 2. So he knows that when he presents himself, he has to come correct. You're not going to convince me across any capacity that Shedeur came in unprepared and that he had on headphones coming into an interview with execs of teams and GMs and coaching staff. I don't believe it at all. I'm not going to convince me of that. On top of that, so what if he didn't want to go to certain teams? Nobody said anything when the Mannings did it. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't a problem when they did it. So for me, by that logic, what's the difference? One's white, one's black. They still got popular last names, household names in the NFL world. So how come Mannings can determine where their family goes and he can't have a say or give his opinion? Go ahead. What you want to say? About
real quick. All right, I'm gonna run it down to you, Nadi, and because I really need for you to stand up, bro. I really need for you to don't be afraid to stand up. And I'm gonna show you something. We all know that the Cleveland Browns wanted to select Shedeur, right? We all know that. All right. Now, Shedeur. Now watch this. All of the owners. These are the same owners who did not allow Colin Kaepernick to come back into the league, right? They all wanted to test him with no media around. They said, we want to test you, but we don't want the media around. So Colin did what? He went somewhere else to do what he had to do, right? Now, they let five rounds go by. Oh, wait, he was drafted in the fifth. 4 rounds go by. And in the fifth, the same Cleveland Browns drafted him. So we're going to use the word collusion, right? So they colluded to do what? The owner said, you're still going to get your pick, but we need for you to pick him in the 5th round because we're trying to break them from having what? For them having any authority over them to think that they can navigate their own careers. So do you think it's a coincidence that the Cleveland Browns still got to choose him? No, they wanted to prove something to them. They wanted to see they're trying to break, and that's why they chose them in the 5th round. So is it bigotry? Is bigotry? Listen, watch this. It's 2 things going on. It's racism. Why? Because they don't want black men having any power. We don't want you to have any power in the NFL to navigate your career, right? Right. So also, it's just like what they did with Lamar Jackson when it comes to bigotry. You're not smart enough. You're not intelligent enough. You or your mother or your father, who named Dion, to navigate this thing and do what you do. They know that Shedeur is a good player. We see that. We see the other player buckling and not doing well. But you know what we still do? You, in your mind, because they told you he was better than him, you believe it. Even though you see this guy has a weak arm, even though you see this guy having to look around and it takes forever for him to get the ball out. You see all these things, but you believe it. And that's why, Nadi, that's why you have to critical think and stop being a weak-minded individual, okay? God bless you.
Aaron says, I'm sad that Shedeur is hurt. Do you think he will make the cut? I don't know how severe his oblique injury is. I did read earlier that he will likely not practice the rest of this week, and he will probably not suit up for Saturday. I think it really depends. Dylan Gabriel, I think he's healthy enough. I believe he's going to play Saturday. So I think it really depends how he looks. If he, for whatever reason, because he was drafted first, that'll be the logic that they use. Well, we drafted him in the 3rd round over Shedeur, and so on. He got more reps. If he, for some reason, comes out and looks super amazing, better than Shedeur, and Shedeur continues to stay hurt, I think that could affect his chances because the season, I believe, is about 3 weeks away, and they do have to make a cut. They can't keep four QBs. What?
But this is what I will say. Go ahead and listen. I'm not glad that he's hurt, but I'm glad he's not playing. I'm glad that he had the game that he got and he's not playing. Because remember last time, Kyle, I said I want to see the other guys. Remember I said that? I want to see these guys. It's only right. Put him out there. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Mike Tomlin, they're going to need a quarterback after next year because, Aaron ain't going to be too good. I even think the Eagles will pick up Shedeur. I really do. I truly, truly do think the Eagles will pick up Shedeur. It's going to be a couple years till he play, but he still would be there. So they can go ahead and play around if they want to. The Mannings
and that's my point. That's my point, Nadi. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. And they're white. That's what I'm saying. Because between Peyton and Eli, people really feel like Peyton obviously is the more talented QB, the more talented of the brothers. You know what I mean? But the fact that he outright said, well, I'm not going to do that, they didn't have a problem with it. They didn't have a problem with it. Yeah. It's because he was white. You know what I mean? Like people, y'all can say what y'all want to say, but I wholeheartedly believe when it comes to black men, black women who are intelligent, who come from money, they're not necessarily looking for a handout. We got to keep in mind, Shedeur also, his dad is successful. He's not a lot of these players that come into the league, well, before the whole NIL deal, but not all of them are super popular, but they're making all kinds of millions in college. The bulk, really and truly, are grateful, trying to take their moms, get their moms a house, trying to help their families, like they're looking for opportunity, especially financial. So they're going to kind of cower down to a certain extent, and kiss the ring, so to speak. Shedeur doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to do that. He has money. He knows what success is like. He watched his dad. He's grew up with his dad. So like he's not gonna have the same kind of um I guess outlook, that somebody else would, but undeniable talent. Cam Ward went first overall, but if you look at his history coming out of high school, he had no stars. He bounced around. He really had one good year. He went to the top of the draft based off of one good year. We don't know that's not a large sample size to me personally, but he still went number one overall. So I'm just saying we could say, okay, well, how are we saying that his talent is undeniable? We haven't seen a big enough sample size, in my humble opinion. But Shedeur absolutely does have talent. Now, depending on what you look for in a QB, that's your own personal opinion. You might like somebody who has a strong arm, somebody who moves fast, somebody who's more of a traditional pocket QB, somebody who, is like Patrick Mahomes. I feel like he's kind of a magician with the football. It depends on what you like, but to me, the fact that he was projected to go for I don't know how long, all year long, the conversation was Shedeur and Cam Ward in terms of QBs. They were the top of the conversation the entire season, combine. And then once that happened, and he says that he wasn't going to participate in the combine, most athletes don't nowadays. The athletes who know they're going to be drafted or believe they are going to be drafted in like a top 10, like they don't really participate in the combine. They don't really in the interview part, yes, but in terms of like running and things like that, like you have my footage. I'm not doing that. He wasn't the only one to say he wasn't doing it. Like, why is he being penalized? A lot of things that happened with Shedeur to me are more personal. It's not just because they don't think he was quote unquote talented enough. You thought he was talented the whole year. So what happened? Why did it change so drastically?
And Nadi, let's be real, dude. Let's be real. For one thing, some of the things you're writing down here, you hear it on ESPN. That's what you do. You don't critical think. I can tell that you don't. I mean, but it's all right because you still have a chance, man. And for you not to indulge in just thinking for yourself, and you're calling the Manning, he's an undeniable talent. Let me tell you something about Eli. Eli was in Bumsville for a long time. Peyton lost a lot. Peyton didn't win till like his eighth year. So even though they called him the best quarterback in the NFL, but he kept losing. So when you say that they're undeniable talent, well, if you're undeniable, that's because who's setting the bar or the barometer? Because there was other quarterbacks who were winning. And I'm talking about on their arm, not on the strength of the defense, not on the strength of you having a real good wide receiver who was a burner. I'm just talking about some dink and dunk guys, So, man, come on, man, stop. Just think for yourself, bro.
Whether or not Cam Ward started 40 games or not, the fact of the matter is he had one good year, one really, really good year in college. That's what they judged him by, his last year in college, and that's why he went number one overall. So what I'm saying is that for me, I look at sample sizes. Like I don't really judge somebody based off one good year. We've seen Shedeur in Jackson State, a school that didn't really have nice facilities. We saw what their field looked like. It was busted up. A lot of strong talent doesn't really go to the HBCUs. They go more so obviously to the Ohios and the Penn States and things like that. Like that also makes a difference. Shedeur got his ass beat, especially in that first year in Colorado. I thought he would have had some broken bones. Seriously, he kept getting knocked down so much with that O-line because it was awful. But he showed a lot of grit and toughness to me, and that kind of stuff. Also, I think you want the franchise QB. If I'm the owner, I want somebody that's going to fill seats in my stands. I want fans excited. I want them to want to buy tickets. I want them to buy jerseys. I want somebody who's talented, who can lead the team. And everything that I've seen and heard, even from other players who say they talk to players like the Ocho Cincos, Emmanuel Acho, Shady, they said they've spoken to people who are on that team. What's that noise? In that organization, and they said outright that Shedeur was the better QB that they had seen. Like, oh, okay. I don't know why I heard it like the echo, but nevertheless, they spoke out and said that from different sources, and I heard some across the board from a lot of different sources that Shedeur has been the best QB there. We could see that he has more talent than Dylan Gabriel. You may say, okay, Cam Ward is better, and that's your opinion, but the fact of the matter is, all year long, they were both projected to go in the top 5. It was never second, third, fourth, fifth round, 144th.
Okay,
It's more. It's
but
more to it than just his quote unquote lack of talent.
Naughty. Answer this: how many teams can Cam Ward play on? One, right? So after the one team he's playing on, then who's going to be taken? You keep acting like, so if they take Cam Ward, no one's going to take Shedeur, and that's why you can't really. You have to watch. That's what I mean. Like, think before you say stuff, because it's like we know that Shedeur went from HBCU and was in Heisman. You get what I'm saying? He built that up from an HBCU dude, and then he goes over it, and then he comes to Colorado, and he improves the team. Come on, man. You can't. When you say undeniable, what makes his talent what makes his talent looks like that is not undeniable? What makes it look? What makes it look questionable to you? That's the question you have to ask yourself. If Colorado won, what they won? One game before they got there? One? They improved,
they were 111. I think that they were 111. I think when they arrived, they got there.
Yeah, Dion comes
before
in
they
and
arrived.
they do what they have.
Like that.
Yeah, and Shedeur was balling out, man. He had some good runs. You can't just sit there and plus he had a weak line. He didn't run all that much. He got sacked a lot because he wasn't trying to run. Because who was in his ear? Tom Brady. Tom Brady was in his ear. And when have Brady advocated anyone to run? Never. Because why? It's not in his arsenal. So sometimes we try to be like other people, but then when we see him took off in the other game, we was like, oh, he got chops, he got legs. Cool. We knew he had legs. We knew that boy ain't slow. Them big thighs. And his father that slow. Ain't nobody gonna have a father that fast and you come out slow. Come on, man. Stop. I mean, just think, man. Stop believing everything that these guys tell you, dude. You trying to make me think that you ain't a brother. You know what I mean?
Hold on. Now he said, I watched every Shedeur game in college. He's my guy, but I'm not a fanboy. I'm objective in my assessments. I've worked in sports radio and TV in Atlanta for almost 20 years. I'm no fanboy. And that's fine. What I want to ask you, though, you honestly think that him dropping in the fifth round to 144th overall had nothing. It was all just because of the reports about him not being prepared and about him not being undeniable talent. Really and truly, you really believe that nothing else outside that had anything to do with it at all? And if you feel like that, that's fine. I'm just curious because you're entitled to your opinion. Hold on. DJ says Shedeur is small with a weak arm. I don't think he has a weak arm. I don't. But look, honestly speaking, all these QBs, they all have things to work on. None of them are coming out of college, like Patrick, like Josh Allen right now, or Lamar Jackson, like where they are currently right now. Like you evolve, you peak, you grow. There's always going to be something to work on across the board. Like nobody's going to come out perfect. It's pretty much like when it comes to quarterbacks, wide receivers, it really depends on what you prefer in a quarterback, really. You want somebody who's tall. You want somebody who's fast. You want somebody who can run. You want somebody who has a better arm. Also, when they have better legs. You want somebody who's more traditional. You want somebody who's untraditional, more a little bit unconventional, should I say. That's all like opinion, That's opinion. But yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There was no real evidence. That's what I'm saying. There was no evidence. Yeah, I can hear you. Where's the evidence that he came in all unprepared? Like, what? How is he unprepared? What did he do? You mean tell me that he came into all these different teams unprepared with his dad being who he is and what he means to the NFL? That his dad, the kind of man he is he's going to tell his son, no, he's not going to prepare his son of what interview process is going to be, like the kind of questions they're going to ask. That doesn't add up to me. I'm sorry. I don't believe that, like that he came unprepared. Now, maybe he may have answered a question wrong, or something like that. But I don't believe that he did not prepare properly, for these interviews. He's not an idiot.
What's going on?
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what we're talking about when we say critical thinking. Like, you can put anything in a report. it doesn't mean it's so. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of putting it. If you say, "Oh, Shedeur, came to the interview unprepared. He had on headphones. Somebody said he was the most entitled quarterback he's ever met, so on and so forth." I'm like, okay, well, what did he do? Like, what? How was he so entitled? Like, what did he say that made you feel that way? And like, I don't know. Whenever I see Shedeur speak, he's always been humble. I've never seen him like maybe I always say confident. I don't say arrogant. I'm not offended by anybody's confidence. I feel like you have to be confident and a bit delusional to make it on this level. Period, across the board, because very few get there. But if I'm looking for a franchise QB, I want somebody who's confident. I want somebody who's sure of themselves. I don't want somebody who's coming in like, I don't really know. Can you lead men? I have a locker room full of grown ass men. And if you're coming here as a rookie, can you lead them? Can you galvanize these troops? Are they going to be willing to run through a wall for you, so to speak? You have to be confident in that. You got to be sure of yourself. If you unwavering, you don't really know. I mean, I think, like if you're coming kind of weak, like, what are we doing with you? Like, I can help develop your talent, but you got to believe you're talented. Like, you got to know that you can be the franchise QB. So I don't know. That don't bother me.
So Nadi, you said in 20 years that you've been in this, right? So what I'm hearing from you right now and then is that I think of it like this. So when you look at Shedeur and you say, it looks like you're looking at it through the prism of I'm sorry, not even a prism, but just through the straight lens of, do act like the Caucasian boys act like these guys act, and then it'll be the right way to act. This is epitome of humbleness right here, like by them saying these things. A lot of times, bro, when we're gonna be who we are, bro. We're gonna be who we are, and not only that, you have to look at it from this aspect. Who else? Who's still being told they cannot be quarterbacks? Remember, at one time, running was completely shunned. Now, you have to be able to take off and throw, and you have to be able to read defenses really fast. Well, those things are happening right now with black quarterbacks, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to move the goalposts on us and make us feel like they're not nothing. That's why Sean Payton had the balls to sit there and cuss out Russell Wilson like that, because he felt that he was big enough to do that, because he have all of ESPN, FS1, all these guys behind him, Trump, all these cats are behind him. So when you look at a black man and you say to me, "Oh, is he an undeniable talent? Can he lead men?" Yeah, he can. But it's not going to look the same way when he speaks. Because if you're constantly being told you can't do this, you can't do that, who your dad is, it doesn't matter to me. Whoever told Archie Manning they don't care who his dad is? Whoever told him that? No one. And they're scared to do it because they'll be banned. They'll be canceled. But they don't have no problem doing with Shedeur. You know why? Why? Because we wear gold chains. That's what we do. Nah, I don't do it. I don't like jewelry like that. But that's what a lot of my people do. We wear big jewelry. That's what we do, dog. But when you get into this thing, man, you stop being a coward, dude.
Hold on. When it comes to Aaron said, I don't trust the Browns. And hold on, going back to something that Nadi said a second ago, I read the comment where he's talking about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh hasn't even proven that they can get. I love Russell Wilson. Aside from Russell withstanding, I don't really feel like I've seen from Pittsburgh since they had been decades ago, like years ago, that what I've seen from them, like they know how to pick and develop a QB. So I don't trust Mike Tomlin with that. I trust him when it comes to defense. I trust him to lead a locker room of men. I trust him to get the best out of the men that he has in that locker room on that roster. But in terms of developing and choosing like the right QB, I don't trust Mike Tomlin with that. The organization with that. Aaron, I don't trust the Browns.
That's a good point.
Aaron, I don't trust the Browns. They may cut Shedeur because of his fanfare, and the organization doesn't like that. They got rid of Baker and Johnny Football prior to him. I mean, they might cut him overall, and if they do, you know what? Then it just was meant to be. Right now, Shedeur really could go to Indiana and have a starting QB position because Daniel Jones is not he looked awful in the preseason, and he's had enough experience to look better than what he did in that preseason game. And then on top of that, Anthony Richardson, who I was rooting for, I've been a fan of his since college. I love the fact that his stock rose in the combine, but he's always hurt. I'm so hoping that it'll turn around for him and he'll get a chance to have a great career. But right now, it's not looking too good. He's in, he's out. I really feel like Shedeur could go there and really start in a couple of weeks because of what they already have on their roster. So if the Browns let him go, please do. Let him go ahead to Indiana, in the Colts. The fans will travel.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Hold on. Nadi said, I love his swag. I've never said anything about his swag or demeanor. No one has. You're creating your own narrative because you don't like the truth. Well, I'm not saying that you said it, but I read a lot of comments that people spoke about his swag. It's like, oh, he comes in with all the cameras, and somebody with my comments earlier, with his hip hop chain. And I'm like, can he play? Like people are like, oh, people don't want to deal with his drama. I was like, what drama has he brought to a team? And I never got a response. What's the drama that Shedeur has brought at Jackson State, at Colorado, and even now?
None.
What drama has he brought? Like, what does he have any girlfriend, domestic violence issues? If your drama is referring to him bust down my AP, singing his own rap song, or him coming in with cameras, to document, and post on the social media page. If you call that drama, then we don't call drama the same thing. I'm not saying you not. It's about the comment that I read. But I read quite a few comments like, I don't want to deal with his drama and his dad. So I'm like, his dad didn't even come to his preseason game. He's busy getting ready, for Colorado's upcoming season. He wasn't even there. He was at home tweeting about it. And he's his dad. He should be allowed to come support his son. Like, what are we talking about here? And people always say Shedeur comes with drama. And when I ask them what drama, I never get an answer. You know what I mean? So I know it's not your narrative. People do speak about his demeanor. People have spoken about that.
They're making you think that there is drama. They're making you feel like there's something. So you're going to respond accordingly. So Nadi, when you say things like, oh, who's the undeniable talent, you're kind of putting Shedeur in a box to say, well, the only thing he really got is swag because he doesn't have any undeniable talent. He does have talent. Did you see him play the other day? Did you see how he led Colorado? What do you mean he don't have any talent?
No, Nadi wasn't talking about his swag. He was talking about the comments by people.
I know, but I'm just saying. But the reason why you say I notice his swag, and then you say some stuff like, well, the Mannings had undeniable talent. You're saying that in reference to Shedeur. You're not saying it just because he was saying it in reference to him. So I'm answering this question. He does have undeniable talent. The Browns, who gave a black GM, gave Deshaun Watson $300 million guaranteed off of sexual assault, and now they are racist. Okay, are you ready for this?
I didn't say anything about them being racist.
No one said anything about them being racist. But see, that's what I mean. Now he has things in his head, but he doesn't understand you see what I mean? Now, I said that the owner was a bigot and a racist. Now, let's deal with Deshaun.
Oh, so you did say it. Wait, so he's right there. You did say it.
Wait. No, he said now, and I'm saying they've been bigot and racist. They've been that way. So it's nothing new. Let's get something
you are
straight.
calling them racist, so that what he's saying is right.
Listen, he said, oh, now. In other words, because he's saying from Shedeur. I'm saying, no, not from Shedeur.
So you're saying, no, they've been like that even before Shedeur.
They've been racist.
Okay,
yeah,
okay, cool.
All right, so let me show you what I mean real fast. So the Brown, understand this about, I'm so sorry, I'm talking a long time.
Understand this about, my light on. I didn't realize. I'm like, why am I so dark? My light's not even on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh God, colorism. She mad about being dark skinned, y'all. But anyway,
we've been on here like 2 hours. I'm like, wait, I'm like, what's going on? My light wasn't on.
She was like,
my bad, y'all. Go ahead, continue. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm so late. Go ahead.
Anyway, so the owners never forget this about. Remember, okay, I use this one. Remember when Magic Johnson, the owners of the Clippers, at the time said about Magic Johnson, and when his girlfriend was still wanting to see Magic Johnson, she said something about him, and he called them, I think he called them monkeys or something like that. He said something when he lost his team, the owner of the Clippers. Dude, at the end of the day, those guys make $50 and $30 and $20 million a year. Business will always be business. These are the same people who called us monkeys, but had us breastfeeding their children. Business will always be business. Grow up, Nadi. I don't think you've been in it for 20 years. If you were, you probably was the guy who was ratting on all the black people inside of the place because you're a
Huh?
coward. But God bless you. Yeah, I'm telling you, he's a coward. Nadi is a coward.
This
You can talk about
conversation,
where
hold on, I'm actually getting a little bit confused now. How we get to breastfeed? What's
because
going on?
when I'm showing, come on now, stay with me, Kai.
I'm trying.
Because he said that, how are they now racist? I'm showing you, well, they let black people, if you call me a monkey, right? But you let me breastfeed your children, it's about business. It has nothing to do whether or not I'm gonna pay you the $300 million because I already know I'm getting back over $1 billion at the end of the season anyway. So paying you a couple $100 million, I'm gonna get my money back. Business is business. So I'll let you breastfeed my kids and everything, but you're still a monkey. I'm gonna let you do this.
I get what you're saying about business being business. I get that part.
Yeah, but he don't understand it.
Hold on, now I've seen every Shedeur game. I understand sports. He had great accuracy, football IQ, undeniable talent as a rocket arm, blazing speed, and huge stature. That's what I'm saying. It really depends on what you feel, your opinion of what undeniable talent is. But for me, a huge stature doesn't necessarily make you undeniable in terms of talent, because Justin Herbert to me has all the components you would like to be in a star QB, but haven't really seen it. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, what has he shown the past 4 or 5 years he's been in the NFL? And I mean, these are taller guys in terms of stature and things of that nature. But when you look at them in the playoffs, it's not what you would like, right? From how they look is one thing. You can look a certain way. It doesn't necessarily mean it's undeniable. I don't know. To me, but I mean, that's your opinion, though. I mean, that's what you go by. That's your criteria. That's how you feel. But I really feel like when it comes to QBs, it really depends on what you're looking for. Like, what's when you're an owner, GM, when you're recruiting talent, what are you looking for in set talent for a QB? Because to me, it's not just, I wouldn't put in huge stature for me. Hold on. Last thing before we get up out of here. All owners are racist because they're capitalists. They're not all bigots. The Clippers owner is a bigot. Jimmy Haslam is not a bigot.
Okay. Well, here we go. When the owner was saying, hey, Shedeur is not my guy, right? And when he is pinned down saying that, even though his people chose him, he's saying that Shedeur can't do the job. But he picks a quarterback who is small, who is slow, who has a weak arm. So you tell me who's the bigot.
And then Nadi, hold on. Tom Brady didn't have undeniable talent, but at Michigan, he displayed high football IQ and accuracy. He was 6th-round pick. Jamarcus Russell had undeniable talent and was a bust. They often get it wrong. Yes, that's true too. They do. I mean, between the past 2 years, Caleb, Bryce Young, people had the idea about how one should look, and then we saw that CJ Stroud and Jaden, the number 2 picks look better than number 1 picks. So sometimes, like I said, you can't always go by that. You really and truly can't. Jimmy Haslam was giving credit to the GM. He never said Shedeur can do the job. Stop watching ESPN. I didn't think he had to say it at all, like Jimmy Haslam, like, why are you talking about it? Like on Friday night, when we left, that was not a part of the conversation. And then if you would have told me leaving, Friday night, going into Saturday, that we would have picked Shedeur, I would have said, you're out of your mind. Like, what are you saying that for, Jimmy? Like, you do not have to make that statement at all. Like, there's no need for you to make that statement. You could have kept that to yourself. He's there. Like, he's there. And why are you saying that now? How is he supposed to take that? Like, if I'm Shedeur, what am I supposed to do with that information? Like, how am I supposed to respond to that? I give Shedeur a lot of credit for still showing up and keeping his head as focused as he can be, because sometimes I know it got to be hard. I'm so glad that he got a chance to talk to Jalen Hurts today. I know he got hurt, but I guarantee you that conversation, I guarantee you it helped him. I understand that he was asked a question, but just because you're asked a question, in my opinion, doesn't mean you have to always respond and answer every question. You don't. Sometimes you can dance around it. You can move the conversation to a different topic. Sometimes everything doesn't have to always be said. And Jimmy knows that. You're talking about Shedeur. They're going to hang on any little thing that you say. It's going to be blown up. And people are not really going to go back and look at your interview to get full context and everything. They're going to go out what you actually say. We know how that goes. I like to always get context, but for me, context or no context, you have to say that. You have to say it. All right, you guys. Anything closing before we get up out of here? We've been on here for a hot minute.
I know you got that right. I'm tired of myself now.
Oh, Nadia, I love having you on. I so appreciate you. I love your questions. I'm here for everybody's comments. We could agree, disagree, you guys. I don't mind it. I'm cool with that. Aaron, good to see you again. TT, who else? DJ, his first time tuning in. I so appreciate you guys. Hold on, let me read Nice comment real quick. Jimmy doesn't want to be Jerry. It hurt him in the Deshaun or thank you, Aaron. Hurt him in a Deshaun ordeal. He was separated himself from making any football decisions because after the season, Stefanski shot was on. And he could have just said that and left it alone. That's cool. You know what I mean? We all know what happened with Deshaun Watson. $230 million guarantee for what happened afterwards. Obviously, did not work out the way he would have liked. But again, I took myself out of it. The GM and the coach handled it. Bam. Thank you. We got it. Move on. All extra stuff you have to say. I'm cool on that. You know what I mean? But anyway, you guys, like I said, thank you. When we coming on again? This was fun. I know we're coming on again, you guys, sometime soon.
Well, never mind. I'll leave that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you again, Nadia. I appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the support. And I do agree. No name calling. No name calling.
I can handle myself. Naughty. My bad, man. I shouldn't have called you no names. I listen. I always check me. Don't ever forget that. I always check me. My bad, though. My apologies, sir. Because I don't know you. And the way to handle yourself, because I was waiting for you to swing back. You never swung back. Praise the Lord, brother.
All right, you guys. I'm here for it. Good positive vibes. Come back next week or so. Yeah, I am going to talk more football. He says so, gone professional with a laughing face. Okay, you guys. This was great. Thank you. See you guys soon. Shedeur. I'll be back on for sure Saturday because Dylan Gabriel is supposed to be playing. I'm definitely gonna hop on and talk about that. We gotta talk about that. No matter how he looks, we gotta talk about Dylan Gabriel on Saturday. So
I am
so we'll definitely be back for that. All right, you guys. For real, we out of here this time. Okay. Good night. Everybody have a good night. Peace out, y'all. God bless. Good night. Thank you.